Go ahead. All right.
What's the link?
Wait, are we already live?
I'll post it. Yeah, we're technically live, but I haven't started recording for KCYP yet. So let me post the link really quick.
No, but I was just saying, like, if we could
The link
somehow,
that being nice. I'm sorry.
if we could somehow find a way to like have you here too on this side.
Yeah, I know. Next week, I'm just whatever. But
Yeah, we'll work. We'll work it. Don't worry.
Post the link to the 977 The City or thecity977.com.
Because we
I'm
pretty much
posting on our Facebook
we
page.
pretty much have the same setup at 97.7. Just Chris is
Does
seriously
Liz
sitting
wait,
there.
or what she's asking me? She's okay. Gonna go on now. Okay, then what do I do? What do I put?
Text her, yeah, we're already live. Tell her to go to the YouTube page. I already posted on our ARMBAR page also. We are live. Join in on the conversation. Okay, so Isaac, whenever you're ready, go to
All right.
5, 4, 3, 2.
Hello and welcome out to ARMBAR, Valley's only weekly wrestling radio show, only here on 97.7 FM, The City. I'm your host, Isaac the Architect Ruiz, along with my esteemed co-hosts.
Jay WrestlePedia.
Tony the Machine Matuk.
And Mike the Business over here, guys. How's it going?
All right, y'all. How's everybody's week?
It's been going great, man. Have no complaints, man. Just 1 week away from WrestleMania and 1 week away from NXT TakeOver Dallas.
Oh, man, that's a show I'm looking forward to. Tony, what about you?
I'm excited about the ladder match for the Intercontinental Championship. That's one of my favorite matches, and I'm looking forward to seeing some talent, like Zack Ryder. I like Zack Ryder.
I'm very happy for
and
Zack.
I hope, I'm glad they're giving him a push.
Woo, woo, woo. I like that, actually.
Especially, yes.
You know it.
And the Hall of Fame induction ceremony. And that's about it.
Are you guys kind of disappointed in the selections this year by any chance?
No way. I think Stan Hansen is one of the best choices that they've made so far.
I do notice that every single Hall of Famer, well, almost every single Hall of Famer is from Dallas, Texas. Sting lives in Dallas, Texas.
Jacqueline
lives in Dallas, Texas. Fortunately, Big Boss Man's from Georgia. And Godfather's from Las Vegas. Am I right?
Yeah.
Fabulous Freebirds, Dallas, Texas. And who else? Oh, yes. Stan Hansen's from Border, Texas.
Yeah, from Border, Texas.
I did some research on him. He's a phenomenal wrestler. He brought a lot to Japan.
I got a fat wife and 9 kids, and I got a mouth to feed.
Who could forget the match he had in Japan with Big Van Vader, the night Vader's eye?
Oh, yeah. Just popped right out of the socket right there.
Or one of the more brutal tag teams of the 80s in Japan, Stan the Lariat Hansen and the late great Bruiser Brody. That was one tag team that was legitimately feared over in the Orient.
You know what was actually amazing to hear on this past Monday? JBL actually going, Lariato!
Where do you think he got his signature, the clothesline from hell was from Stan Hansen's
Exactly. And he always pulled a wicked clothesline, so
Oh, yeah.
it makes me so happy to see Stan finally in the Hall of Fame.
Congratulations, Stan.
All right, let's go ahead and go to Jay's Corner is what I like to call it. Mr. WrestlePedia over here.
Thank you, Mr. Biz.
Mr. WrestlePedia.
Everything not WWE. Let's talk about that.
Or as Isaac likes to call it, indie darlings outside of WWE. But yeah, just some big news this past Saturday that broke out. 2 longtime TNA stalwarts, Bobby Roode and Eric Young, leaving the company, asking for their releases after TNA's recent set of TV tapings in Orlando.
Mm-hmm.
It definitely came to a shock to me because those are 2 guys that have been with the company since May of 2004.
Mm-hmm.
And for them to now be asking for their releases, it's like, wow, that's kind of saying something about TNA at this stage in the game.
It's a shame because not just Eric Young, but Bobby Roode, correct?
Correct.
Both of them have been longtime TNA guys. Like, at one point, they were both world champions. Am I right?
Yeah.
And it's just really a shame to see them go. I don't know if it's because of pay cuts or I don't know if it's because of late payments or whatever the situation may be. Maybe they got a more lucrative offer, whether it be in Japan or NXT. But it's such a shame because TNA right now, I feel like their product is at one of their peaks. Like, this is the best, one of the best wrestling shows that I've seen week in and week out lately. It's just that nobody wants to talk to it because it's just got a huge stigma on it.
And it's unfortunate because they have such great wrestlers.
Absolutely.
Nobody will ever complain about TNA's, wrestling talent because they got great wrestlers that support the brand. It's just either product awareness, because to this day, we're in 2016, they've been in business since 2002, and some people still don't even know what TNA is.
Or they get the other meaning of TNA.
Yeah, you could say that.
But I just think the big thing is the whole stigma behind it, because you look at it maybe 2004 to 2007, 2008, and it was known as the alternative brand. It was something that people could get excited for. It had 6 rings, had these cruiserweights, the X Division, AJ Styles, Christopher Daniels, Samoa Joe, and all these like amazing guys from the independent scene. Come 2009, they get rid of the 6 sides. They bring in Hogan and Bischoff, and I think that's honestly just what poisoned it, because instead of just trying to make an alternative, they just made it WCW 2.0. And I think their biggest mistake is that they kept taking shots at their competition, which just drew more eyes to their competition.
Exactly. I mean, Vince McMahon never once mentioned TNA and had really no reason to.
He never really mentioned WCW either.
Well, they kind of had their mentions here and there, but then again,
Yeah.
WCW did something TNA did, and that's actually beat WWE in the ratings.
Yeah.
It didn't last long.
Well, 2 years. I mean,
Yeah, but when was the last time TNA pulled even the ratings WCW had, or even in WCW's final years?
I think there was only one time. I think they drew a 4.0 or like 2 point something rating, but that was the night Hogan and Bischoff debuted. And then, once I saw that 4-sided ring, that was.
To me, it's like I was always hoping for the day TNA came to the Rio Grande Valley, and they finally did in 2012.
Yeah.
But it was with the 4-sided ring. I was wanting to see it with the 6-sided ring. It just felt like another house show, except, half the size of a WWE crowd at State Farm Arena.
Well, me being a TNA diehard ever since the days of 2004, it was just such a shame. And I, heard about that they did the Alamo Dome, and I was like, oh, that's really happy. I'm really happy for them. But apparently 3/4 of the arena had to be curtained off, and they couldn't even sell that out.
I was there that night. It was 7,200 that showed up, which to this date is their biggest audience in the United States.
Mm-hmm.
And I was happy to be there, but it was after lockdown, pretty much after Slammiversary in 2013 is where TNA started.
That's even less than like a standard WWE house show?
Yeah, pretty much.
So it's not just a product awareness, but it's just got this whole stigma behind it. It's like people don't want to associate themselves with the brand. And, talented wrestlers like Bobby Roode and Eric Young, I really wish the best for them. But this isn't going to help TNA's situation out.
No.
I remember watching Eric Young back in the days when he was with Team Canada. He was always like, the whipping boy. And like,
remember Don't Fire Eric?
Yeah.
Long before the yes chant from another bearded wrestler, there was the Don't Fire Eric chant.
And I remember like TNA tried to pull that whole storyline that, the bearded wrestler that, he's kind of the underdog and he goes on to win the big championships. Like, okay, TNA, I see what you're doing. And I think that's where they kept making their mistakes, that they kept trying to one up the competition or say, oh, we had this story first. It's like, who cares?
Yeah, just
make a better story.
Concentrate on your brand. Don't talk about somebody else's, because all you're doing is giving them free publicity.
So, and even then, I'm really sad because Bobby Roode especially was one of my all-time favorites.
Yeah.
Who didn't want to love, seeing him in Bobby Roode.
It pays to be rude. Great heel, great champion, and I just can't believe that he up and left TNA after 12 years. But the way things are going, I can kind of see why.
I honestly think that I'm honestly hoping that he shows up in NXT. But that's just me, he might be doing a signing in Japan, might be even working for AAA or just working more independent dates, but
I could even see him in Ring of Honor, him and Eric Young as a tag team.
Absolutely.
Definitely.
But right now, I think, I wish him the best, but I'm really worried about TNA's state right now.
Yeah, it's not the brand it was 10 years ago.
Absolutely.
It definitely is not. And then, of course, also moving from TNA, of course, over to Ring of Honor Wrestling. Of course, May 8th is the Global Wars pay-per-view, where another Ring of Honor New Japan joint show. And from what I'm hearing, what could possibly happen, the match I'd love to see happen, Jay Lethal defending the Ring of Honor World title against the biggest star in New Japan today, Hiroshi Tanahashi.
Oh, man, that would be great.
Tanahashi. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Well, I think Jay Lethal is just playing this part really well right now, and Tanahashi, the notoriety it has. I don't know if they'd necessarily let a Japanese wrestler go over in like one of their biggest shows. I mean, it's happened before.
Yeah, Tomohiro Ishii when he beat Roderick Strong in Japan for the TV title.
Absolutely, but considering the crossover appeal and everything, because here's the thing: Jay Lethal can be kind of considered a household name for the Ring of Honor, but not that many people who watch American wrestling watch Pro Wrestling or watch New Japan.
Yeah.
So obviously, there's a strong crossover appeal. You have stars from New Japan coming in all the time. They put on amazing shows, but Tanahashi is a big name in Japan, but what impact does he have in the U.S.?
I mean, sure. I mean, he may be the John Cena of Japan, from what many fans have said. But you're right. I mean, unless you're a hardcore fan in the United States, to the average wrestling fan, they're going to just look at him like,
this is the first time they see him.
Yeah, they're going to be like, who's this guy? Or, hey, that looks like a bulkier version of Yoshitatsu. But Tanahashi's just,
Tanahashi's great.
Phenomenal. One of the best in Japanese wrestling, a member of the Wrestling Observer Hall of Fame. And, I hope this match happens. I mean, it's rumored, but, never say never. If it happens, take my money, please. And then as far as what's going on, of course, Lucha Underground last night, the debut of Rey Mysterio.
And, the place went off. The roof came off of that place. And here's why. When we're watching Lucha Underground, obviously we're seeing the vignettes. We're seeing everything Rey Mysterio leading up to it. However, on tapings, nobody even knew he was there.
Yeah.
So as you can tell, when people saw Rey Mysterio come in, you could just tell that, it was a genuine surprise. It was legitimate. And it was just something that came off as amazing when it went through the screen.
Yeah.
And honestly, I think reactions like that and setups like that, the way they're driving the story along, because it's so great, and I'm loving Joey Ryan right now. But the way they're setting things off right now, I think I'm honestly hoping that Lucha Underground becomes one of the biggest shows.
Yeah, it's part of what I call Pro Wrestling Wednesday night alongside NXT. It's part of my Wednesday night ritual, getting to simulcast NXT and Lucha Underground. I unfortunately did not get to finish either show, but it was only because it was for a good cause, thanks to the Machine here, who surprised me with tickets to go see WWE Hall of Famer Jake the Snake Roberts at the historic Cena El Rey. And Tony, I do want to say publicly thank you for that surprise, and it was an honor to get to meet Jake the Snake and to also have you as the person that surprised me with that.
Thank you, man.
Congrats, Tony.
I really appreciate this.
Happy early birthday, by the way, Jay.
Happy early birthday.
Happy birthday. And this is the birthday gift I want to give him. We all go through ups and downs in our life, and every year in our life, we want to pay it forward. That's what it's all about. Wrestling fans, us radio personalities, to one brother to another. You see somebody down and out, you got to lift them up. And this year I wanted to do that for Jay. It was his birthday, and he deserves it. And you know what he did for me too? He got me a nice shelf. It was like a black. It's like a gold shelf with black legs.
Yeah,
it is so awesome. And you know what? I want to tell you, Jay, my wife loves it. And this guy, he's awesome at what he does. And a happy birthday, man. I'm really proud of you.
Thank you. Yeah, I saw the post on Facebook, actually, and I'm looking at the picture now that Jay's showing it to me, and it looks really nice. And that's pretty legit right there, guys.
Yeah, it's a little side project we do, with making furniture from scratch.
It's awesome.
That I do with my family, and it's awesome just seeing the result, and then seeing people like, oh, man, that's so beautiful. I want that for my house, or I want that for my apartment. That's where the real payoff comes out.
Yeah. My hats to you, Jay.
Thank you, Tony. Thank you, guys.
Hats to our family. Keeping an eye on each other. There's no reason that we have to keep putting each other down or other people down.
Yeah, I mean, hey, we're like the saying goes.
No reason at all, right?
Bar rocks.
Bar rocks.
Bar rocks.
All right, guys. So let's go ahead and move on forward here into the Monday night recap.
Let's push it forward, guys. And if you're listening, I want to thank all the listeners out here listening to us on 97.7 FM The City. If you hear random meowing in the background, I do apologize. We are pre-recording this at my apartment here, so I do have a cat. So my apologies on that. And if you're listening to us live on the live stream over here on YouTube, don't freak out. And it's just a cat. And you might hear me yelling in the background.
Pretty frisky. Should be called Frisky than some
He's a little
Cheetos.
frisky, yeah.
Cheeto, the armbar cat.
So we want to thank the viewers as always. Let's go ahead and go into the Raw recap here. And of course, Raw usually starts off with your usual authority promo. Stephanie McMahon comes out, and I'm just a little disappointed to not see Triple H, the World Heavyweight Champion, there, because he's the guy. You expect to see him there, right? But of course, Stephanie cuts her promo. Roman Reigns interrupts, and it just turns into something that I don't want to see. Not to discredit Roman Reigns at all, because Roman Reigns is the number one contender for that championship. But at the same time, I'm just like, why am I watching this over and over again? I feel like it's just a big repeat And I'm sorry that you guys, if you're watching on camera, I'm actually kind of leaning in over here. But maybe I don't need to do that. I'm gonna look straight at you guys. I'm on the camera, by the way.
Just
guys.
look straight into the camera.
But I'm just gonna go straight to the Kevin Owens and AJ Styles match. I'm just gonna kind of skip that because I don't feel like it's too relevant on what happened. I mean, it is and it's not. And we'll go a little more into detail about that later on. I mean, Triple H does make his appearance, but anywho, let's let me actually switch the cam back over here to you guys because you guys are a lot better looking than me.
I don't know about that last part. I mean,
Especially Tony over here. I mean, look at that mug over there. But anywho, okay. Who wants to talk about AJ Styles versus Kevin Steen or Kevin Owens? KO Mania over here.
it was a good match.
Yeah, that was a great match.
Great rematch from SmackDown, but the same token, almost the same ending with Chris Jericho interrupting AJ Styles, which saw the same result with Owens beating Styles. So it's kind of like,
Now,
yeah.
Here's something that kind of bugs me about it. Because you see, like, the psychology behind the ring. And, you know, you see these things like the interruptions and everything. And what I'm just thinking is that why would you let it go? Why would you let go of a hold or let go of a pin if somebody just comes out and starts chanting your name or, like, tries to distract you? Yeah, I can understand the original distraction because it was the pyro. It's loud. It's surprising. Like, what's going on? But this time Jericho just came out and caused Styles to lose the match. And I'm just thinking, like, why would you do that? Why would you let go of a hold or let go of a pin if somebody's just trying to distract you? He's not actively running in trying to get you. He's not doing anything to you.
It's kind of like when someone is about to, you know, do a top rope maneuver and the manager's about to interfere. Why are you going to be worried about that? That manager interferes. That guy's wrestler is going to get disqualified. Let him do what he wants to do. So, yeah, I can see where you're coming from when it came to Jericho interfering in Styles' match yet again with Owens.
Something that I would have loved to see is that I remember, I think it was Owens that did this, but, you know, Jericho runs into the ring, looks like he's about to, you know, beat up Styles. The referee starts getting in the ring, and then he just starts kicking Kevin Owens so he can get the win by a DQ.
Yeah.
And it was just like, you know, they just need to start working more of that psychology in there because it doesn't make any sense for Styles to just let go of a hold or to let go of a pin just because somebody came down chanting his name.
Yeah.
Tony?
To me, I feel like it's just a big ego game here. You know, this is today AJ Styles is like the modern day Chris Jericho.
Yeah.
And everybody's looking at AJ Styles saying, man, this guy is phenomenal. You know, we see him in TNA, we seen him in ROH, we seen him in New Japan Pro Wrestling. And yes, people forget the fact that Jericho actually attended in Japan. He attended in Mexico.
Wrestled for War.
He's been all over.
He's been all over. And this generation, they've never really seen Jericho in his pastime. Only the people that were born in the 80s and the 70s and the 60s, or maybe partially in the 90s. So people rarely seen Jericho's pastime. They're barely seeing him now. And see, Jericho's in his mid-40s, and he can't do any of the moves that he was able to do 20 years ago or 15, 20 years ago.
Right.
Now that AJ Styles, he's doing the moves that Jericho used to do, but a little bit more advanced. And so that's why everybody's, you know, chanting AJ Styles more than Jericho. But because people don't see the past line. They just see now Jericho in the present, what he's doing currently. And that's why you got these two egos colliding. And yeah, I thought at first that those two, yes, they were having a little tag team duo. I guess it didn't work out because they're almost two alike.
Right.
Think about it. You got think about a Pisces and a Pisces. Sometimes they don't get along, and sometimes they do. So I'm actually happy about this rivalry, you know, because I think it was a little too sudden. This rivalry, it needs to be in the grand stage of them all. It needs to be in WrestleMania, and this is why we're here to watch this match happen again. The battle of the best.
I think the biggest thing, though, is that it's already been proved that Styles can beat Jericho. What does Styles have to gain from beating Jericho at Mania? He's already beaten him twice.
Ultimately, it's, you know, another great match to have, except now at the show of shows, WrestleMania.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of people said WrestleMania this year may be in the biggest stadium, but may not be the best show of the year based on the card. But put this match in, it's definitely going to make up for what some people may not like about this year's card.
You know, and I think it'd be pretty interesting if they had a stipulation, maybe something along the lines of, you know, if Jericho loses, he has to retire. But no, I'm hoping that this match ends up really great. And something that I'm personally hoping for is that Jericho throws in a lion tamer just for old time's sake.
Oh yeah,
That'll be fun to watch, guys. All right, but let's move on to the next match. All right, Big E versus Rusev. All right, but what about Big E? What about them Bootios?
Big Woo. I already want to buy that cereal.
Bootio
Yeah, I would buy that cereal.
That'd be my cheat meal for the week.
Bootios, because we don't want it, or I'm sorry, we ain't booty or something along those lines. I messed that up. I'm so sorry.
You got to say something though, because Rusev is just some hot garbage right now.
Oh gosh, I don't even want to get into Rusev or the rest of the league.
Well, just be happy he's wearing his boots, not being barefoot.
I kind of miss barefoot Rusev, to be honest.
Well, he broke his ankle like that, didn't
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like he was a little more physical. He was a little more agile in the ring, etc.
I don't know. I think it was just. I think
he was a little sloppy.
He was a little sloppy.
I think
and-
just with or without the boots, it's still Rusev. It's not like
It's not
major
like-
difference. Like
Yeah.
remember when Cesaro didn't wear knee pads?
Yeah.
Well, even Cody Rhodes didn't wear knee pads.
For a
Yeah.
little bit,
Mhm.
So,
No, but he
thoughts
traded in
on
the knee
match, though?
But Cody Rhodes traded in knee pads for face paint. But
Yeah.
it helps further the storyline between New Day and League of Nations. Ultimately, you just got to see what happens come WrestleMania between these two warring factions.
I honestly think the New Day might drop the titles at Mania.
I thought it was going to happen at Roadblock against Sheamus and Barrett, but then again, nothing really much happened at Roadblock, so that was big.
Because what I was honestly thinking is that if not that they drop the titles to, what is it, Lucha Dragons, their big face turn is going to happen at Mania.
Yeah. Or possibly, hey, bring up Enzo and Cass.
Oh,
You know,
man.
similar to what happened with Paige and AJ Lee a couple
That would
years
just be
ago.
incredible.
And you can't teach that.
Well, you know what? I think that the New Day are going to put them over, because you know what? They'll give them a run for their money. If you think about on the grand stage of the mall, this will give them opportunity to push League of Nations. They haven't been pushed that much. I mean, those guys look like heels. Think about it. They're all from different nationalities.
Right.
You got the New Day. They're all from America, obviously, except Kofi Kingston. Well, I think he's recently moved. I think he's in Florida right now. He's living in Florida.
I believe so, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay, so right now, yes, they were heels at first, and then they started becoming in-betweeners. Now they're face. Now this is gonna actually build up their character to a rise.
Yeah.
Now that they could be heels, they could be in-betweeners. Now they could be really good faces. And you know what? The fans actually like when they were heels. Regardless, they have a win-win situation. Now that they're building League of Nations as heels, they want the fans to hate them. They're doing a great job at that. And I like to see that kind of competition when you see Biggie Langston versus Rusev. They're both weigh about 300 pounds, and I like the way they collide. They got great in-ring motion, and that's what fans want to see. Two super heavyweights colliding. They're about the same build, same height.
Yeah.
You guys, what are your thoughts?
Well, win over Rusev was honestly really great to me, but
It was not booty.
it was not booty at all.
Actually, you know what? I mean, these guys feuded, last year?
Yeah,
Yes, for the
the
U.S.
title.
Championship.
US Championship. And
But Big E had like no personality.
yeah, and I remember at the time, though, I mean, they put on a couple of good matches when they were feuding, to be honest. And I was kind of impressed to see Big E actually get that, pinfall finally. I mean, because they perceived Rusev as very dominant back when he was holding that championship.
He was undefeated.
And I kind of hate that he's gone on a downward spiral since then. So it's refreshing to see Big E, kind of continue to rise up to the top as a tag team champion, obviously, right? But I mean, I kind of like this feud going so far. I mean,
Same here.
I don't like the League of Nations gimmick, and I don't necessarily agree. I hope they honestly break up because I feel like it's not doing anything for ADR, and we know that King Barrett's going to leave very soon.
It's going to deteriorate.
So it's going to deteriorate after a while, but I mean, in the meantime, I guess we'll just see what happens, and we can just go from there, guys.
I have to say this, I'm honestly hoping that Big E becomes a future WWE champion because I feel now that he's proved himself, now that he's proved, he can go from a hated face, he's getting Roman Reigns reactions out there, but when they first started out. Now look at him, he's got the personality, he's got the mic work, he's doing an amazing job, and I honestly hope that somewhere down the line, maybe in the future, maybe within next year, he gets a title shot because he deserves it.
If you don't mind me adding, we're finally seeing Xavier Woods wrestle. Finally,
Exactly.
Especially outside the ring, he's doing rolls, he's doing clotheslines. I like to see Xavier, throw some of his talent besides the trombone. I mean,
Francesca
this
too.
guy's a very talented
He's a
wrestler.
great, consequences create.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We
He
want
has
to
a
see
PhD.
more of Xavier Woods wrestle instead of him looking like the weakest link out there. This guy is a phenomenal wrestler in my eyes. I mean, this guy's very educated and he's very well mannered in the ring.
He was kind of
Bottom
almost like
line.
for a while being like the Jimmy Hart of New Day, except with a
Trombone.
Francesco.
But this
as
guy's
opposed
got
to
more
Megaphone. But yeah.
pizzazz, and that's what people want to see.
He kind of reminds me of a
Combination.
Jimmy Hart of this stage
Yeah.
generation a little
Yeah.
bit. He's loud and he's out there, and you can see that he has the colors, obviously, because I don't know if you guys remember Jimmy Hart. He wore those bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, very
Those-
flamboyant colors.
Yeah, very flamboyant colors back
Yeah.
in the day. So it's somewhat. He has more of a managerial role right now than as an actual wrestler, but at the same time, we'll see what happens.
He's
with
very
the in the
versatile.
future.
Yeah.
He's very versatile. That's what I
Very.
like about him, and he's very educated.
Oh yeah, definitely.
yeah.
All right, guys. Next match, we're gonna go to Chris Jericho versus Fandango. Wait, hold on.
Fandango.
Okay, sorry. So this is a rematch from WrestleMania from like 2 years ago.
Yeah,
right?
I mean,
2013.
what a time to bring back Fandango, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
just so he can job to Jericho.
Yeah, it's been a while since we've seen him on Raw. Actually, he's usually wrestling on Superstars or whatever, like
Main event.
Velocity or. So
You know,
Wait,
Here's the thing.
Velocity's still in the air?
no,
No, like, no, man, he's on
Missed
Sunday
that-
Night Heat.
Oh,
Missed that era.
I'm gonna say this. I honestly forgot he was with the company.
Yeah, same here.
the only time I've read about Fandango is when I read the live event reports on various other wrestling websites. But yeah, Fandango versus Jericho. Didn't like the match at WrestleMania 29. I'm gonna be honest. Didn't like this match on Raw
Yeah.
this past Monday.
This wasn't such a great match, to be honest. But who interferes in the match? guys?
AJ Styles.
AJ Styles.
Well,
What comes around, what goes around, guys.
Yeah, it does. And even though AJ tried to interrupt the match,
And this is something that I love.
This was impressive.
This is something that I really like. Even though he was distracted, he still got the win.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Because, it's stupid to me that you would lose just because of a distraction like that.
that's just how professional Chris Jericho is. I feel
He's-
like he has such great ring awareness, etc.
That's why
best
he's
in
the
the world
best
at
in
what
the
he
world
does.
at what he
Exactly. If you think about it, going back to WrestleMania, what was it, WrestleMania 29? Okay, when you see Fandango versus Chris Jericho, you could so tell Jericho put him over
Yeah.
on the map to make him look really dominant during his early career.
Yeah.
Now when he just jobbed him, now he's just giving him a receipt pretty much by losing to Jericho. Like, okay, since I put you over, now you're gonna really put me over with interest, and I mean it to the third power. So I mean, he really gave a big
Absolutely.
implanted. What was that called? The code breaker.
Code breaker.
That was fantastic. And you know what? I like the fact that you rarely see AJ Styles, do these kind of actions. He rarely did that in TNA.
Not the Malera.
No.
There was nobody Fandangoing this past Monday.
Yeah. So my hat's out to AJ.
Yeah.
All right, let's take a look at the next. We got about 3 minutes before we cut to commercial break, guys.
All right, let's just talk about this segment really quickly.
Yeah.
He's saying Big Show came out saying, why he needs to be 2-time Social Outcast winner. He talked up, and then, people try to the Social Outcast try to beat down Big Show. Then Kane comes out, and then he attacks him like, what?
I don't understand what that was all about, actually.
I don't know, because, you can see when he chokes him, he's like, Kane? Like,
It's like, no, King, no.
and then he chokes like,
No, 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 no.
First off, it's just good to see Kane and the
Yeah.
Big Show back in the ring. I mean,
absolutely.
give those two guys credit. They've been wrestling for 20 plus years already.
These guys
both
are
of them.
veterans, man.
And they're the elite of the elite, in my opinion. Both former world heavyweight champions, and they're playing their roles. I mean, they're going to do what Vince or whoever else tells them what to do, and
Yeah,
I think they're doing a great
they're
job.
company men.
Yeah, they're company men, just like Triple H. Unfortunately, I hate to say that, but I mean, guys like Mark Henry, the Big Show, Triple H, they they do their job and they don't complain. I
Yeah.
mean,
Because Triple H
they know that-
will do anything for this business.
yeah,
Best
whether
for
it be
business.
whether it be them putting over a new talent or being in the spotlight when they need to be. I mean, they can come back 3 weeks from now and not do anything, or they could be main eventing WrestleMania if or when we wanted, actually. So,
Yeah.
I mean, kudos to them. I mean, what do you guys think about the Android the Giant Memorial Battle Royale?
I think it's kind of run its course, in my opinion. But, I mean, it kind of ran its course to me when Damian Sandow didn't win it last year.
Yeah.
Because I feel like the Andre Giant Memorial Battle Royal, or as I'm going to call it, the ARMBAR.
I thought you were saying the android, the
I
giant.
think it's
And-
not going to be that good because Cesaro's not going to be a 10.
No.
And it's only going to be 20 superstars this year.
Yeah, because the thing is, it was originally meant as just kind of a one-off thing to show the next level of talent, and then they ruined that immediately by putting Heyman with Cesaro.
Yeah.
And then, Big Show won it, and he beat Sandow. Everybody hated that.
Yeah.
Because it looked like, Sandow was finally going to get the big one. He was going to get his win. And now what do you have?
Sandow's not even there.
I'm
man.
just glad it's on the USA Network and not part of WrestleMania. That's just,
Mhm.
I mean, it was great when Hogan did that to pay tribute to Andre, but now it's like,
It's run its course.
that's the best way to put it.
I think this is probably going to be the last year for it. And instead of building up new stars or making new talent, it's just, he did this.
Yeah. And what does the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal really do for anyone?
No, nothing. It's kind of like the King of the Ring nowadays.
Unfortunately, yeah, you're
Do
right.
you get a number one contendership spot? Nothing.
No, you just get a big trophy. And even though they're playing homage to
Yeah.
Andre the Giant, but you got to admit, though, Big Show, he's our modern day Andre the Giant. Anyway, next course.
All right, we're gonna call these letters real quick, guys. So bear with me as we call these beautiful KCYP letters.
KCYP 97.7 FM LP Mission McAllen.
All right, now we're back. So next segment, guys, let's talk about the triple threat match for the number one contendership for the Intercontinental title.
All right, I'm just gonna say this really quickly. I just think it's hilarious that winner of the Andre Giant Memorial Battle Royale gets a big trophy instead of like a tiny little medal.
I would prefer them to have a medal, etc. I mean,
Or at
You
least,
know, pay
or at least a
homage.
ring,
Yeah,
like
maybe like,
they used to
yeah,
have a battle bowl
like a
back
Hall
in
of Fame ring.
Yeah, something like that.
The one that gives them like ultimate power.
All right, so let's
You
talk
remember
about
that,
Yeah.
right? You remember that, right?
Yes, unfortunately.
So let's talk about that number one contendership battle for the IC title at
Yeah.
WrestleMania. So we end up with Sin Cara, not Sami Zayn,
Stardust.
Zack Ryder and Stardust. And Kevin Owens goes up to Stephanie McMahon asking for this match, thinking that it's going to be three other stars, which is The Miz, Sami Zayn, and the other guy, I forget.
Dolph Ziggler.
Dolph Ziggler,
Yeah.
Ziggler, who's actually still trying to get into a match at WrestleMania, which he's finally in. But
Yeah.
anywho, I mean, I was kind of surprised to see that he picked those three, and I really feel that they deserve a shot,
Yeah.
man. All these guys that have deserve a shot in the spotlight.
Absolutely.
I mean, Stardust, who hasn't really been doing a lot much lately, he's been kind of wrestling on Superstars or whatever,
Yeah.
doing stuff for the network exclusive. Zack Ryder also doing NXT stuff with Mojo Rawley, and of course Sin Cara, who's just kind of following Kalisto around with that U.S. title.
Yeah.
So it was a surprise to me, and I'm a big Zack Ryder fan because I used to be a big fan when he was the internet champion.
Ditto.
So I mean, what do you guys think about that? I mean, going from there.
Well, I mean, it gives them the opportunity to showcase their skills on the grander stage. And I can only just hope that for Zack Ryder, Stardust, and Sin Cara, that they make the most out of this opportunity that could be mostly just designated to put over the big stars like Owens, Miz, Ziggler, and Zayn. So, hey, hats off to them.
I think it's a really big opportunity, especially Ryder coming fresh off of NXT, fresh off with the Hype Bros. And it's just really exciting to see his career possibly get revitalized. I mean, I know that they pulled a few rips on him. They buried him
yeah.
because he got over on his own accord. WWE, that's a big no-no.
Yeah.
But maybe they're finally giving him that second opportunity. My guess is that Ziggler's going to win the title at Mania, the Intercontinental title.
Making it
But
so obvious.
But if it was up to me, I would have Ryder win it because I honestly believe he deserves it the most.
I agree, Isaac, because to me, Zack Ryder is one of the most underrated WWE superstars. I think he was one of my favorite U.S. champions when he
Mhm.
defeated Dolph Ziggler. I mean, he threw a great show. Plus, yeah, I mean, he was buried a couple times in the past, but
A couple.
many. Okay, I'm sorry. That's
A couple
an
years
understatement.
worth.
Yeah. This guy is very talented. I mean, this guy was also, I think, tag team champions with another wrestler when there was Guerrero family. What was
Yeah.
it called? Los Guerreros.
It was Zack Ryder and Kurt Hawkins.
Oh,
Kurt
La
Hawkins.
Familia.
Yes.
Yeah, La Familia.
La Familia. So, this guy has quite the credentials, and he should have been multiple U.S. champion or Intercontinental champion many times as a multi-mid-carder. So, you know what? Whether he becomes an IC champion in the future, my hat's off to him as well for WrestleMania.
Can I just say this really quickly? Just turn the U.S. title into the TV title. Just do it. Just give us
TV
something.
U.S. title.
Yeah, just give us something to care about.
Yeah, I mean, Kalisto versus Ryback at WrestleMania for the U.S. title does absolutely nothing for, at least for me. I'm just, that's one match at Mania.
Well, not just that, because you see Kalisto wrestle, you see that he's very talented, he's very great.
Yeah,
but
no question about that.
the biggest thing is that even he's so capable of performing. Even going back to his days, Samurai del Sol, he's so capable, he's so athletic, he's so great.
Yeah.
He can put on a championship match week in, week out. It doesn't just have to be John Cena when he did the open invitation.
Yeah.
It's time to just give Raw something, give Raw a reason to watch. Even though with the John Cena US Open Challenge, it was obvious who was going to win that match. It still gave you something to look forward to. So I think they should just go ahead and turn the U.S. title to the TV title already and just bring it back.
The one championship WWE has never had activated, and that's the television championship.
Yeah.
I can see where you're coming from on that one.
I see also a future Cruiserweight Championship. I heard rumor has it that thinking about bringing back the Cruiserweight Championship.
I'd love to see that happen.
There's a lot of lightweights out there that,
especially on NXT.
Yeah.
Actually, I mean,
Yeah.
especially on
I
NXT.
can't wait to see that. But all right, moving forward, guys, we're pressed for time as always because we
Yes.
only have this one beautiful hour on KCYP. Thank you again, Joe, and thank you again, Chris, for having us on your station, by the way. We really appreciate it. The wrestling fans out here in the Rio Grande Valley are some of the biggest wrestling fans in the world, and we can't wait, to continue to build our brand here at KCYP, ARMBAR Nation, #ARMBAR Nation, right? And let's go to the next match, which was Natalya versus Charlotte. And
All right, quick little summary here. Charlotte wins here, and I thought it was a pretty tight match. I thought it was really enjoyable. You could definitely see the skill of both women in the ring. However, I'm just sick of dusty finishes. Like I don't think it helps the women's division at all.
To be honest, I really don't remember much about this matchup. So, I mean, I don't want to comment on something I didn't get to see a whole lot of. So,
Yeah.
it was a short match, to be honest. It wasn't what they had at Roadblock. That's
Yeah.
Or
I
even
just blinked
NXT
a couple
TakeOver.
times and the match was over.
Yeah, it was over.
Yeah, it was a really quick match, and of course, there was probably interference from Ric Flair. I'm not too sure.
Most
You had
likely.
Becky Lynch and Sasha Banks kind of commentating on the ring also, actually. I think they were there.
Believe it or not, there was no interference with Ric Flair.
Yeah, I mean, she just kind of won fair and square, and I feel like it. Natalya's just putting everyone over at this point in her career. It's kind of sad to say. I mean, she knows she can put on a great match.
Yeah, her care's almost.
We've seen it. We've seen it on NXT. We've seen it recently at Roadblock. I mean,
Yeah.
but she's another one of those. She's a member of the Hart Foundation. She's one of those that'll do everything that you can for the business, though. She's there for the fans. She's not there to have all the glory, etc. But at the same time, she should push for that spotlight. She deserves it.
Well, you can understand she is actually on her way out, and maybe give her about a year or two.
Yeah.
She wants to be a full-time wife for
Tyson,
Tyson.
especially since he's not wrestling
Yeah,
anymore.
exactly.
He's gonna be out for a long time.
She loves Tyson
He's
to
never
an
coming back.
oblivion.
He's not gonna be back.
She loves Tyson to an oblivion, and you know what? At this point, she wants to put out over everybody. She wants to give these young talents, they want to be spotlighted. She already had her time many times in Japan and also in NXT and WWE. So, yeah, I can understand what she's doing, and yeah, I want to see more of her. But she wants to be with her husband. She wants to have a family.
It's about time. It's
Mhm.
about
It's
that
about
time
time.
for her. I mean, same thing with Brie Bella, who's going to be leaving pretty soon, also.
Yeah.
And then not just that, but also Daniel Bryan. Of course he's already retired, but he's also taking off WrestleMania Access, all press meetings. He said just for personal reasons. So replacing Daniel Bryan at the meet and greet is actually going to be Shawn Michaels.
Oh, wow.
The man who trained him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right, guys, moving forward from Divas action. Let's just go to the main event, guys. Dean Ambrose versus Braun Strowman.
So Dean Ambrose gets the loss here by DQ, but he looked like a beast out there. Like he looked like he absolutely was ready just for war. He hit him with the chairs. He hit him with.
Yeah, did anyone catch this? The fans were saying this is boring.
Yes, I did.
I
yes,
caught
I
it
did.
a couple times, and I was like, you know what? Why didn't they use the KO and AJ Styles match and made that the main event? Not to discredit Braun Strowman or Dean Ambrose.
Yeah.
Either of those guys. I mean, Dean Ambrose is pretty hyped up going into WrestleMania, right?
Yes.
Against Brock Lesnar, but I mean,
It was a predictable main event, heading into that match.
exactly. But it's just like the fans, you want to give the fans something to watch, something that's just going to brighten their eyes and leave them going home with something good in their heart, And to me, like, That's just, it was trash. You know, it was trash.
The only thing that was great to me is when Terry Funk appeared and
Yeah.
down
the chainsaw.
the chainsaw, which
Yeah.
obviously he's not going to use it at WrestleMania. But to me, to add the cherry on top and the little drizzle of sauce, I think that it would have been a better finish if the Wyatts come out, right? They're attacking Dean Ambrose like crazy. Brock Lesnar comes in. He's suplexing every single Wyatt member. And then all of a sudden, Dean Ambrose is barely getting up and hits him with an F5. And then he leaves the ring. And then Dean Ambrose gets up with that sick, demented look on his face with his tongue sticking out and goes underneath the ring, picks up the bar wrapped in barbed wire.
Yeah.
That would have been the excellent credit for the show. That's what fans want to see. But, you know, this is on Vince's hands or Triple H's. So I really didn't like the finish. The only thing I liked was when Terry Funk appeared.
Mm-hmm.
And I've always pretty much called Dean Ambrose the modern day Terry Funk. So to see Funk, you know, endorse Ambrose on camera, I thought, man, that's awesome.
And he said his son. He
Yeah.
said, "You're like a son to me."
You're like a son to me, Dean.
And, you know, I saw something on the website, www.com, that was a quick little promo showing Ambrose's day as John Moxley in CCW and PWG and Ring of Honor.
Yeah.
And he's showing so much backstory of him. And it's like 5 minutes of him just out there in the desert training, talking about his match coming up, how he fears and how he just, you know, he has no fear. Or rather, he is afraid, but he's ready to go to war. He's ready to, you know, give himself up just for that one big fight.
Yeah.
And I'm just here thinking, why isn't this on television? Why are you using these five little segments, 5-minute segments for things like recaps or commercials or even like little promo videos? Why not use stuff like this or like the vignettes to build your characters? Like even the weekly interviews with Michael Cole. Use time to build your characters. Give them something to care about, because honestly, that was one of the best Dean Ambrose promos that I've seen.
Yeah, and
I agree, definitely.
it's still the one match at Mania that I look forward to most is Ambrose versus Lesnar.
Exactly.
And if there's some blood in that match, hey, even better.
I just like the fact that each hardcore legend is approaching Dean Ambrose. Hopefully next week it could probably be Sabu, or it could be
The Sandman
as well. I mean, there's the list goes on and on.
Yeah, it's going to be New Jack. He's going to give him a knife.
Raven. Can you imagine Raven or Perry Saturn? I mean, that'd be awesome.
If Ambrose fights Lesnar and Ambrose's music plays from start to finish of the match, you know that's a New Jack endorsement.
It comes out with a shopping cart.
Man, don't get me started with New Jack. I saw a New
man.
Jack match, and the guy, he threw some guy over like table after table after table. It was
Vic
like
Grimes.
It was like 15, 20 stories
And if I
high.
remember, New Jack actually suffered some brain damage in that match.
Yeah, but then again, does the mass transit incident also ring a bell?
Mhm.
And that guy almost died, man. He was like about an inch away from his life.
Yeah, but then again, that's, the kid lied about his age, which was, terrible.
He said he was trained by Killer Kowalski.
Said he was 19, but he was really 17. And, well, he pretty much paid a very good price in that match 20 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Does anyone want to discuss the Vince McMahon / whatever?
Just
segment
really
that
quickly.
was? Yeah.
How is Vince going to enforce that rule that it's going to be Taker's last Mania if Shane wins?
I'd like to see him try. That's the best way I can put it.
How? No, I'm legitimately curious because this is like, you have to retire, darn it! Like,
But is that stipulation like any other WWE
He
stipulation going to stand?
yeah, like I mean, come on, they fought over custody of a human child before.
It's
He made it super obvious for Undertaker what it's going to be his last match. He's going to get inducted to the Hall of Fame. He goes, it better be his last. I mean, come on, guys. I mean, do you really think? Okay, he just ruined it for WrestleMania.
It's more just
me.
like, how are you gonna enforce that if you're not in charge?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Like, and even then, like, even the commentators are tripping up on their own words. They're like, "Oh, Shane gets control of the WWE. I mean, Monday Night Raw." It's like, okay,
which one is it?
yeah, what does it mean? And they're like, "Oh, controlling Raw is essentially controlling WWE." So it's like, so is Vince still in like there? Is he still like the chairman?
Oh,
What?
he is. He's just sitting there and
Or
No.
it's been set up for the possible brand split that we've been hearing about.
No, because like if we're talking kayfabe here, or like we're talking storyline, how does that make sense?
It doesn't.
Yeah, exactly.
no, him just saying that. We all know now that most likely Shane's going to take over Monday Night Raw. I mean, come on. Undertaker barely is taking his last breath at Raw. His entrance is 5 minutes. He just barely gets into the ring. His punches are so slow. He acts like he's 67 years of age. And he's just about tired. His speech is slow. I mean,
it's about time.
It's about time. And happy 51st, by the way.
Oh, yeah. Today is Taker's birthday, right?
Mm-hmm.
Happy birthday, dead man.
Happy birthday.
We're going to talk about favorite matches, Undertaker matches.
You can stay tuned to the ARMBAR post show, only on Google Hangouts.
I love that. Sorry, that
was beautiful.
Thanks for plugging us, Isaac.
No problem.
Anyways, let's go ahead and move on to Dirt Sheet Roundup.
Dirt Sheet Roundup, guys. Well, my phone just died, but I'll try to remember. That's the problem, guys. It's a running joke with me. My phone never lives. Anyways, so big news coming out of New Japan Pro Wrestling, supposedly, that, remember, guys, you take this with a grain of salt. I'm only repeating what my sources say. Anyways,
that's why it's called Dirt Sheet.
It's why it's called Dirt Sheets, yes. But big news coming out of New Japan that the company's considering going public as an IPO to compete with WWE on the global scale.
I mean, it would be awesome, for another alternative brand to also go public. I mean, right now WWE's only competition is on the other side of the world, New Japan Pro Wrestling.
I mean, you have TNA, you have Lucha Underground, but compared to...
I mean, will TNA or Lucha Underground bring 40 or 50,000 people to a stadium anywhere in the United States? Nope, unless you're WWE. The only other company that does that is New Japan every year at Wrestle Kingdom, at the Tokyo Dome. So it's got to wait and see what happens from there.
Tony, your thoughts?
No, I got no comment on that. I agree with both of you guys.
Okay, big news. Supposedly that Triple H is fighting to be out of the main event of WrestleMania. So rumor has it,
2 weeks, 13 days, not even less than 13 days.
No, it's not that he wants out. It's just that he'd rather his match versus Roman Reigns be about maybe a second or third match on the card and have Shane versus Taker go last so it can be the true main event, because either he doesn't have enough confidence that the match is going to, build up the type of hype, or to be the last match on the card, or B, that he really doesn't feel the match is strong enough to carry into the last match.
Yeah. And well, I mean, to be honest, I still want to see the match.
It's Mania. It's a spectacle.
Yeah, Roman Reigns versus Triple H on paper, hey, that looks awesome. But the fans, unfortunately, the hardcore fans, not the casual WWE fan,
kids,
pretty much. If this was the main event at WrestleMania, most of those fans are either going to A, walk out on Dallas, or B, pretty much hijack the show a la the 2014 Royal Rumble. But,
or even like WrestleMania 30.
Yeah.
Or 31, sorry.
And I still want to see it, but does it have to be the main event? Not necessarily.
To think about it, and Vince already automatically assumes that it's going to be over 100,000 people watching this
just for Roman Reigns. And what?
I don't really see that. I see maybe 65 or 55,000.
And people are saying that they're really worried about Vince McMahon's health because of the stress of this whole Mania thing. He's had to change the main event 4 years in a row now.
Yeah, it's just all you got to do is just give the people what they want.
Yeah, but Vince would rather make $1 his own way than 1,000 somebody else's.
He'd rather cut his own nose off to spite his face. And having to change the main event at WrestleMania, it's not good for business.
It's not, but
what about giving people what they want?
Obviously, the Roman Reigns isn't working. What they're doing with Roman isn't working.
No,
Tony.
I was going to talk about something else. Another dirt sheet. You don't mind me?
Go for it, bro.
By the way, anybody that's assuming that Sting is retired, he's not. He is not retired. Sting made it boldly and clear. I am not retired yet, so I have some gas in the tank, and I have one more match.
Oh, wow.
So, guys, please don't assume that he's retiring. Let's hear it from Sting's mouth.
What if they do this at Mania? It's Shane versus Taker. Sting comes in and interferes and costs Taker the match just because it's right for WWE.
That's brilliant.
And then Shane says, no, dead man, you're not done. And then announces a year ahead of time, Sting versus Taker, the final match.
That would be bigger than the year build-up for Cena and Rock.
Exactly.
Because that's the match people want to see.
Don't remind me of that build-up, by the way.
It's supposed to be Triple H versus The Rock. It was supposed to happen, and that just blew the coop.
Yeah, but I I just was never really interested in that match. I mean, I've seen that match dozens and dozens and dozens of times in the late 90s, early 2000s. Why do I want to see it in the 2010s, 20 teens, whatever you want to call it? At this point, it's like, come on. I don't want to see a rerun. I want to see a new episode.
Yeah.
I want to see Rock versus somebody he's never wrestled. Same thing with
Hurricane.
Triple H. Well, he's already wrestled.
Yeah, I know.
Come on now.
Well, there's some more news speculating here.
Go ahead.
Well, the Kurt Angle versus Rey Mysterio match.
Yeah.
At the UR Fight pay-per-view.
I thought it was
Yes.
great.
Kurt Angle was the victor, I believe. Wow. This match, right? He
Mhm.
was the victor.
No, Rey Mysterio won that.
Yeah, Rey
I thought he
Mysterio
was.
won.
I thought- okay, I guess I read it wrong.
Yeah.
Okay, so Rey Mysterio hits him with a 619, I believe?
Yeah, after he was distracted was Angle with it was a rap star who interfered in the match. I don't remember the name of the rapper.
I think it was Wale.
Something like that, if I'm not mistaken.
Mhm.
But it goes to show that Angle still has some gas in the tank. But do I see Kurt Angle coming back to WWE? Never say never.
Never say never, and I think they mentioned that he might be coming eventually part-time after SummerSlam.
Wow.
That's
That'd
what
be
I was
big.
reading up in the article.
I think Angle deserves one more run in the WWE, in my opinion. I mean, he did great for TNA the last 10 years. I think it's time for Kurt Angle to come home to World Wrestling Entertainment.
I just want to chant "You suck" at him one more time.
Oh, man. Before the John Cena sucks.
Yeah.
There was the you suck. Oh, man. The days of
It
when
was Edge that started that.
the days that when I used to watch the pay-per-views at Buffalo's, those crowds got louder and louder with the you sucks
Mhm.
chants, during Angle's final years in WWE.
All right, and one more piece of news coming out of here. So this past SmackDown, the one that just aired today, they were piping in boos for Roman Reigns.
I did hear that, yes.
Like it wasn't actual boos. Like WWE literally just edited them in. So I think what this possibly hints towards, Roman's is acting a lot more aggressive, a lot more heelish. Even acting more heelish on Twitter.
Yeah.
I think that it's finally time. I think it's actually happening now that the turn at Mania is imminent.
after WrestleMania.
We might see a double turn. We might see. I mean, Triple H is starting to get more cheers, but then again, he's a respected legend.
Exactly.
And so much he has done also for NXT.
But how would the only way I can see the turn actually working is either Roman cost Ambrose the match, or and then he comes out, screws Ambrose over, and then they try to plan out like he's just gonna fall and Triple H is gonna take the pin, and then Ambrose somehow comes in and tries to fight for the title or whatever, or B, it's a finger poke of doom.
No, I mean, on the biggest stage of them all. I mean, come on, that's a WCW type move. And
It is a WCW type move, but
where's WCW?
yeah,
It's on
It's in the
$9.99.
But I was going to tell you, though.
Oh,
I said it in the I know, sorry, I said it in the
That's
toilet.
like, well,
Any-
it's kind of true.
Okay, have you noticed the backstage assault when Roman Reigns was out there outside the arena and Triple H is leaving? He's in that SUV
Yeah.
and Stephanie's in there and they're driving. Have you noticed that he's starting to act like Triple H a little bit more and more, like ruthless aggression Triple H? He's standing, he's staggering down like this, and he's walking. He has his hair greased back, and he's
Yeah.
walking. He's acting like ruthless aggression Triple H.
Yeah.
That's not Roman Reigns. He needs to stick to Roman Reigns.
The
Now-
difference is, though,
He's too much like Triple H.
even fans liked the ruthless aggression era Triple
yeah,
H.
Yeah.
even during his reign of terror.
But I don't think it looks good on Roman Reigns.
I think the biggest thing that Reigns needs to do right now is just not talk and just arrive, spear, leave.
Have someone be his own
His
mouthpiece.
promos are kind of poor.
I think what he needs to do,
Succotash.
please, it's just you got some potatoes, but really you just got tater tots.
I'm gonna dodge bullets like Superman.
The only thing I liked out of one of his promos when he was on Miz TV and he just knocked his block off.
because that's more Reigns. Be the
Yeah,
silent
that's
but
what I
deadly
like to
person.
see.
because here's the thing, they're trying to make him Luger.
Yeah,
He needs to be Goldberg. Just
that spirit.
Oh, that's a little strong on that one. Maybe between
because here's the thing,
Goldberg.
Goldberg didn't talk. He just came in, beat people up, and left.
speared, jackhammer, repeat.
Yeah, and Reigns could be doing that right now. He needs to be the silent, deadly type. He needs to arrive, spear, Superman punch, leave, because that makes him interesting.
Didn't that happen with Ryback? And look what happened with Ryback.
The thing is, Ryback has been at it for 10 years, He's been at it for over 10 years. He's been trying to, cut promos. He's been trying to be this bigger than what he already is.
And he's still ain't doing
But
it.
he keeps making mistakes. He keeps hurting his fellow.
You have to think back. You have to think back to the Shield when that's all Reigns was. He was the dominant enforcer. He was the one that would finish the pin. He would finish the match.
Yeah.
And they need Reigns to be that. He just needs to be the killer.
And it was funny at one point when they wanted him to start doing interviews, and they were having him with coaches and stuff like that. A friend of mine once, brought it to my attention. Isn't that what developmental was for?
Yeah, like he was leaky in FCW, and he did one match in NXT, I think. And I don't know if he connected to the audience as well as the likes of Seth Rollins or Dean Ambrose, but again, he even went to acting classes to try to learn how to act better, and he's obviously trying. I'm not saying that he has no work ethic.
No,
but I just think that in order for the fans to like him, they need to hate him first.
Yeah.
Every wrestler has been through that route, and he needs to go through that.
Let's think about it. The New Day, they were horrible faces. People booed them. They were boring. They were booing them.
They were the dynamic dudes of our generation.
And then look at what they did. They turned heel. They became super dorks. They became really lovable.
Yeah.
And now people are chanting New Day rocks now.
And they're eating their bootios every morning for breakfast.
Think about even better example. Rocky Maivia.
Exactly. That's what I was about to say.
They were chanting "Die, Rocky, die" because he was this white meat babyface. So I'm going to go out there, give 100%, my 100% best. And then
what if it was 1986?
And then as soon as he went out, as soon as he came out and became The Rock when he was with
the Nation,
the Nation of Domination.
We are the Nation of Domination. And we came, and when he
I had to finish it. Sorry, I had the WWF Warzone and PlayStation 3.
Yeah.
WWF The Music Volume 2.
Yeah. Sorry.
That's
I cleared away.
Oh, man. Not speaking of, WWF The Music, you remember that one song he did with Slick Rick? The Pie?
Yeah. It was on Volume 5.
But anyways, Rocky Maivia, they were chanting "Die, Rocky, die." He cut this vicious promo on the crowd, and then all of a sudden he became The Rock.
Yeah.
And fans grew more and more to like him, and he started becoming loved, and then they started repeating his catchphrase, and Rock was like, no, you booed me, you don't have the right to say what's up. And then he became the people's champion.
Became the most electrifying man in sports entertainment today.
So why can't they do that with Reigns?
I got a good question I want to ask.
We're planting seeds right now.
What has been the difference between Roman Reigns and John Cena when it comes to fans that not everyone's going to like, but yet is there any kind of term of endearment for either one?
They respect Cena because he can actually put on a great match when the need be.
Yeah.
He can put on a 5-star match, whether it be with Kurt Angle, whether it be with Edge, whether it be with Orton, with Triple H, with CM Punk. He always delivers.
Yeah.
That's why they call him Big Match John.
Yeah. Done.
Well, you know what I'm noticing? Every wrestler's got to pay their dues, and especially with Roman Reigns, if he's getting booed, I think today Cena still gets booed more than Roman Reigns.
But
if they were going to put those two together, he'd get the most booed. Cena.
Here's the thing: whereas opposed to Cena, where Cena accepts it, he takes it in passing. He wears shirts that's like, "If Cena wins, we complain on the internet," or he pokes fun at himself. He realizes that not all the fans like him, and that's okay.
Yeah,
and people respect him. That's the thing.
That's probably the reason why he's not been turned heel yet, because he acknowledges that he's not exactly the most popular guy in the building.
But people respect him for that. People respect him for what he is, and hasn't always been hated.
No,
people do like him.
Back in his Thugonomic days.
Even when he played the heel character of Thugonomics, I, for whatever reason, could not boo him.
Yeah, I gotta say, I like John Cena. I really am a huge fan of John Cena. Mike?
All right, guys. Hate to cut you all short over here, but we have 2 minutes left. All right.
2 minutes. All right.
Here on
Closing
KCYP, the city. So
closing points. Okay. So, yeah, I guess the big thing with Cena, I'm a really big fan, but the thing is, whereas Cena takes it in stride, Roman takes it really personally and says stuff like, "Oh, these guys are haters because that's all haters do. They hate their lives, blah, blah, blah." And he takes it so personally, and that's why the fans can't connect to him, because he just can't take it in stride. He can't accept that he's being booed.
Yeah.
All right.
It is what it is.
Closing shout outs, guys, just for the station here.
I want to give a shout out to my wife. honey, I love you. Thank you for supporting us week in, week out.
Shout out to my mom, get well soon, as well as to my brother and my sister, as well as my Uncle Joe and to my grandmother. Love you guys.
Shout outs to the amazing Linda Vasquez. Can't wait to see you tomorrow, honey. And to my family, whoever may be watching, and especially to y'all, the Armbar universe. Mike?
Just shout out to Mr. Russellpedia over here. Happy
Yeah.
early birthday again.
Happy early
Happy
birthday!
birthday.
Happy birthday, sir. Turning,
Highly deserved, man.
turning 22.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Congrats to you and Tony again on helping out with the NWA stuff going on. I guess I don't know if I should mention that or not, but I mean, kudos to you for training, basically. I mean, and not training maybe. I don't know what's going on, but anyway. Last 30 seconds, Isaac. Go ahead and close us out here.
All right, guys. Remember, you can follow us on Facebook at facebook.com/UTPR Armbar, on our Twitter at WW_Armbar, even on YouTube at Armbar at 97.7 FM The City. So once again, thank you for listening to this weekly edition of Armbar. And remember, guys, hard work pays off, dreams come true. Bad times don't last, but bad guys do.
And you're not done with that. We got 2 words for you.
No gloves!
Thanks for listening, everybody. We'll see you next week. Okay.
All right, we're still on air.
We're still on.
Hangouts, guys.
Yeah, we're still on air. So I just got to say this. Fuck! No.
Damn.
Son of a bitch.
All right, but yeah. This is Armbar Unleashed, the only half-hour Google Hangouts wrestling radio show. And
Parents,
we are completely...
get your kids permission to watch.
What?
No, wait. Not...
What? You got to get your kids permission to watch?
I'm thinking it's 1998. It's D-Generation X. Triple H said that in the promo.
All
Look it up
right.
on
Due to
YouTube.
the standards and practices, we're not allowed to say these words. Ass. Damn. Bitch.
Damn. Yeah.
Shit.
So we are unmiked, so to speak, guys. And I'm actually saving our file right now. So if you're watching us, thank you. Thank you, Liza. Thank you, whoever else. I don't think we only
Rock and Roll James.
Rock and Roll
Hey, if
James
you're
is
watching,
back.
big ups to you.
Thank you for watching. We really appreciate it. This is our weekly podcast / radio show that we got going. I took the time to invest money in a soundboard.
Let's show off some of this equipment right here, because this is some really great equipment here. I'm just gonna bring it over to you. We have this amazing soundboard over here.
Yeah.
These great mics, and look at this. It came with a complimentary cat, y'all. Look at that.
Cheeto, what's going on?
Look at that.
Cheeto rocks.
Cheeto
rocks.
Stop talking about Cheetos, man. I'm getting hungry.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
dieting all week, man.
It's a complimentary
Stop it.
cat that came with the kit, so I highly recommend you buy this.
Yes. You'll get a free cat.
Oh, man. Stop saying Cheetos, please.
I'm sorry, guys.
It's okay, Tony. I'm just
Sorry.
gonna enjoy some of that pizza I got.
Oh, you guys suck.
Right now, he's going to be sucking on that pizza.
Oh, man.
Sorry, man.
I'm going to go get me a bottle of water and think 0 calories.
Just think it's Kool-Aid.
Oh, yeah.
I'm actually saving
or
the file,
Coke.
guys.
Cola. Coke.
Diet Coke.
Coke Zero.
Coke
That's
Zero.
better.
All right, guys. So I'm gonna put the camera on me just because I mostly had it on you, Jay and Isaac and Tony over here. So let's get the camera on me, the guy that's behind the soundboard over here, the guy that's controlling everything. I've actually been posting our podcast and radio show here on Twitter and our ARMBAR page. So if you guys are still watching, Liza, I know you're still watching out there. Julie Ortha and Twitter, the Twitterverse going on over here. We're still going.
Absolutely.
Let's talk about Taker's best matches. Since it is his birthday, so we want to give a shout out to the Undertaker.
Cheers to the Undertaker.
One of the greatest
Big ups to the dead
performers
man.
in wrestling history. The guy, I don't want to call him Vince's bitch because I thought that was a very
That was very
low
uncalled
It was low
I think
blow.
it was a low blow
Didn't
for
like
Shane McMahon to say, actually.
Especially when he messed up his own lines.
Favorite matches, man. Shoot, hold
Well, I
on.
gotta say this.
Start off, Isaac, on that.
Well, I gotta say this, Shane. I love your kicks. I think you have the best, shoe game right now in professional wrestling.
Oh, yeah.
But man, that was low blow.
Huge low blow.
Yeah.
But okay, my favorite. One of my personal favorite Undertaker match. I'm gonna list off 2 here. One, first Hell in a Cell match versus Shawn Michaels. I think honestly that's a great 5-star match.
Bad blood, right, or something
Yeah,
like that?
in your house, blood. And I think that was honestly one of the best matches. Not just for technicality, but the story. Shawn Michaels looked afraid. He looked afraid to be there. He was running around. He had DX behind him. Couldn't do anything. You know, he was trapped in there with a cage. It's like, you know, like in Watchmen. You know, I'm not trapped in here with you. You're trapped in here with me. And then it closes off obviously with the debut of, you know, Undertaker's brother Kane.
It's gotta be Kane.
And I thought, you know, that was honestly one of the best ways to reveal a new character, especially with the weak promos coming in. Kane is coming, Undertaker. Oh yeah! But I honestly thought that it was one of the best ways to debut a new character, one of the best ways to finish a match, and it was so intimidating because you saw this masked red guy that was about as tall as the Undertaker, about as big, and he just, you know, nobody knew it was Isaac Yankem in there.
Yeah. Or the bogus Diesel.
He ripped the cage off. Remember?
Yeah.
He just ripped the cage.
That was incredibly intimidating, and it was just insane to
Guys,
watch.
I'll be right back. I gotta go get the dog.
Oh, no.
No, but hopefully the dog will be okay with us. I mean, sorry about that. But hey, we get to introduce a new star.
Yeah. And then number two for me would probably have to be Undertaker versus Brock Lesnar, Hell in a Cell, when Undertaker had the broken arm.
I had my time.
And honestly, I thought that was one of the best Hell in a Cell matches. You know, this was what, Vengeance 2002?
It was actually No Mercy 2002.
No Mercy 2002. Undertaker versus Brock Lesnar. Not you know the recent one.
Yeah, not Hell in a Cell.
One of the first ones that they had in the series together. And you know, before SummerSlam of that year, Brock was undefeated against Undertaker.
Yeah.
And I honestly think that, you know, they have such a history together, and they work so well with each other just because of how stiff Lesnar is, and just because of how well of a good style he works. That I just think it puts it together for a great match, especially with the whole cast.
Yeah. And
Tony, go on, Jay.
Go ahead, Tony. Go
Okay.
on, bro.
My favorite Undertaker match. They're so countless. I love the Christmas special when he was facing Yokozuna in a casket match, and I love the promo that Undertaker delivered. He's like, I'm going to put you through a casket on Christmas. Ho, ho, ho. Yokozuna.
That would have been a great that would have been an amazing debut for the Christmas Creature.
Yeah.
I even love the First Blood match. Even though Undertaker came short with the Austin versus Undertaker match, First Blood, he's like, Austin, I want your blood. Your ass is mine, Austin. I want that blood now. I like that one too. The Big Boss Man, by the way, the Undertaker match. I think it was back in '99.
Yeah,
it was WrestleMania 15. And man, I love the way he just hung Jake. It was Big Boss around his neck. He's just bringing him up there. That is what people want to see. I mean, that's what I like.
Exactly. And then something else that I really liked. The whole sick one. Oh, it's Coco.
What's up, dog? Alrighty, guys.
Dude, Mike, it smells,
Hey, I'm on camera. What's up?
Mike, it smells like up dog in here, dude.
Hey, how's it going, guys? Say hi to Tony. She's probably super afraid. Just kind of stick your hand out, let her smell you so she don't get all vicious on you. She hates you.
Yeah.
What are you guys talking about?
Favorite Undertaker match.
It's the Undertaker's birthday. Not just favorite Undertaker matches, but moments too.
Yeah.
I mean, one of my favorite moments, I remember when he was feuding with Heidenreich. I mean, it wasn't
the
best rivalry, but I liked when Taker did the reveal of Heidenreich, what he would look like in the casket when he had the dummy of Heidenreich.
Yeah, that was. Oh man.
Heidenreich was just he was like this psycho character, and yet he's all like, the casket, no. But as far as matches, Undertaker versus Shawn Michaels, you're correct. The first Hell in a Cell match, for the longest time, was my favorite match, but also Undertaker and Mankind at King of the Ring 98 and JR's commentary. The match was great. It wouldn't have been the same if it wasn't for JR commentating, especially the story that was told there.
Can you imagine Michael Cole commentated today? Oh my!
Vintage! Like, what's he doing? It wouldn't have been the same. I mean, Joey Styles, I'm sure would have done it justice, but Jim Ross.
There's nobody like Jim Ross. Nobody.
Good old JR. And then, of course, not just those matches, but, you know, the Hell in a Cells with Undertaker and Mankind and Undertaker and Shawn Michaels. But what about also, you know, his 2007-2008 feud with Edge? That was just one of my favorite rivalries.
And I was there for WrestleMania when he beat Edge for the title. It was really great.
I like
to
the
see.
Randy Orton rivalry with the
Oh,
Undertaker. I like the
Legend
part it was on SmackDown, and Randy Orton's throwing on a great promo with his dad, and everybody thinks that the Undertaker inside the casket was a dummy, but it was actually Undertaker, and you see Undertaker winking, and you know something's gonna come up. So all of a sudden, Undertaker comes out of nowhere and grabs Orton by the throat, and he just like chokes him out in the corner of the ring. He wraps his eyes, rolls his eyes totally white, and he just throws him at the end of the ring. That was one of the best promos. And then when he comes back on one of the pay-per-views out of the casket, because I think they burned the casket.
Yeah.
And he comes back resurrected.
And the casket's on fire. He just kicks his way out. That was so
beard. I missed that. And that is just vintage right
Freaking
there.
awesome.
It's awesome, Undertaker, man.
And it also,
Especially American Badass Undertaker. He was pretty good on that one.
and one of my favorite SummerSlam main events, the Highway to Hell, 1998, Stone Cold versus The Undertaker. I still watch that match, no matter what. I mean, I don't care if it's 1998, 2008. I will watch that match till the day I pretty much am buried 6 feet under. That is one of my all-time favorite matches. Not only SummerSlam, but Undertaker history.
Another one of my favorite Undertaker moments definitely has to be his match versus Jeff Hardy.
Oh, yeah.
That was a good respected match.
Because, it was for the title, and, Jeff came very close. He came this close to winning the title. And then at the end, Hardy says, Taker, I'm still standing. He said he was going to break him.
Can anyone agree that Undertaker put Hardy over for that match?
He put him on the map.
I mean, he put him on the map, and he made Hardy pretty a legitimate contender, and now he won the title a couple times after that, right? I mean, so Hardy being in TNA now, he's still in TNA.
Yeah,
He just renewed his contract.
That's just big respect on Taker's part. If you think about it, Undertaker brought up a lot of people, man, throughout the years. Not just Jeff Hardy, but several characters.
He was the first guy to endorse John Cena when Cena debuted in WWE in 2002.
Wasn't he like his protege?
Somewhat for a while. They even had a tag match together against Angle and Jericho on SmackDown about a month later, where he basically just told Cena, "You better get your head and your ass on the same page, or you ain't gonna last long, boy."
Yeah.
He's like, "Which name, kid?" That was pretty cool. I mean, I know
He's like, "I'm never gonna wash this hand again."
I know my friend X-Man hates John Cena, but for the sake of it, that was still one of my favorite Undertaker moments, him endorsing John Cena.
Before Brock, he wanted the streak to end a long time ago.
Yeah.
He wanted it to be ended by Randy Orton, by Mark Henry, by Batista.
Or Kurt Angle. He was even willing to tap out for the first time in his career, officially tap out, to Angle at WrestleMania 22, which that would not have been a bad way to end the streak. It would have still been shocking, but we thought, hey, Kurt Angle is one guy that I could have seen.
That was before the streak became, the big beast that it was.
The first time it was acknowledged was WrestleMania 13 with Undertaker and Psycho Sid, which, believe it or not, I like that match. I thought it was pretty good.
I thought that the first time the streak was mentioned was WrestleMania 18 versus Flair. That's the first time you see him hold up his hands counting 10.
Well, JR had mentioned Taker had never lost at a WrestleMania leading into that championship match with Sid at WrestleMania 13. And it was great seeing him win the title from Sid, and then the entrance, or not the entrance, I'm sorry, but the picture with Taker wearing the old school gray gloves and the gray boot covers, holding the old school classic WWE championship. Thought that was pretty damn cool.
I have to wonder, when did the streak actually become a thing? Because if I remember, it was around WrestleMania either 22 or 24, where Edge mentioned, I'm also undefeated at WrestleMania.
It was basically the decade of decadence against the decade of destruction.
It was, believe it or not, it was actually after the match with Ric Flair.
Yeah,
because he was doing this.
Yeah, that's what I just mentioned.
Yeah, I mean,
But yeah, it was where it started becoming more folklore. But it was Jim Ross that first mentioned it years earlier, WrestleMania 13, to help put the importance on Taker winning the belt from Sid.
Part of me wishes that CM Punk would have been the one to end the streak, because I think if he did, he would still be with the company today.
To
me, that was that would have been the best way to close it, because I feel like their match was a 5-star match.
It was a great match, yeah. WrestleMania
he mentioned also Brock Lesnar with SummerSlam. He wanted to win against Brock Lesnar, and he had to put him over.
And then, it's just, I still remember to this day the night that you could hear this. The night Brock beat The Undertaker at WrestleMania 30.
I remember I was sitting in bed when I was watching Mania, and after the F5, I looked down on my phone. It's like, he's gonna kick out. Then I hear 3. I look up, I was like, wait, what the fuck? And I look up, and then I heard the 3 count, and then everybody was just silent, and I'm like, and then I hear your winner, Brock Lesnar, and I'm like, what? Like, no, no.
Uh-oh.
Just getting excited.
Yeah, even the dog's upset by Brock beating the streak.
My jaw was literally on the floor that night when Brock beat the Undertaker at WrestleMania.
And, and then after that, Vince McMahon lost $750 million about 2 weeks later, and the stock went down.
Oh man.
For my friend Sam, it was a sad day for him when the Undertaker was beaten at WrestleMania. Yeah, all wrestling fans. I mean,
Yeah, exactly.
it was just like you don't envision either Batman or Superman being beaten by their respective villains
Yeah.
to end a movie, much like you don't expect at WrestleMania. Not even Daniel. I mean, with all respect to Daniel Bryan winning the championship at WrestleMania, which
I thought that was a beautiful moment.
it's still like we still felt that sting of Undertaker losing to Brock Lesnar.
I remember there was this picture.
It was a business risk.
There was a really great picture that I saw. This cat over here
Sorry.
of after WrestleMania. It was a sign that said 22-0, and it was just torn up and crumbled up on the ground.
It to me reminded me of when Ivan Koloff beat Bruno Sammartino in Madison Square Garden. The story my dad would tell me how Bruno was the unbeaten legend, the greatest of all time at that point in the Garden. And when Ivan beat Bruno for the title, you could literally hear a pin drop. It was the same thing at WrestleMania 30 with Brock Lesnar and The Undertaker.
Yeah.
Mike, what are you doing there?
I'm getting the greatest wrestling match between a cat and a dog live. I'm sorry, guys.
That
Mike-
could headline.
Mike, Peter's gonna get after us. Come on, man.
Probably so. Just testing out the cam here, guys. How's everyone doing?
What's up,
everybody.
Armbar fans? Give us some
What's
love.
Give Armbar some love. If you've
Wish
not
Jay
already done so.
wish Jay happy birthday, by the way.
Thank
Happy
you.
birthday, Jay.
Sorry
Thank
for the
you.
crappy camera.
I need some alcohol here to truly celebrate, but happy birthday.
Well, it's not Friday yet.
I don't drink, guys. Sorry.
Jay, we need to go to a bar.
Definitely, man.
Getting
Nice.
us up.
A nice, cool bar. Like, I don't know.
Hey, Flying Walrus is pretty good.
How about a little Jack and Coke?
I'm like a simple beer drinker. I'm Budweiser, Bud Light, Miller Lite.
No, it's gonna be a Coors Light because Bud Light won't pay you.
No, because I'm not a fan of Coors Light.
No,
Coors
but
Light, when Brock Lesnar did that at UFC
Yeah.
100 against Frank Mir, I'm
You
like,
know what I
really?
want to try? I want to try that Broken Skull beer.
I would
Hey,
try
dog, dude, that'd be a great birthday present.
If you want to try Broken Skull beer, give me a hell yeah. Hell yeah. But again, happy birthday to The Undertaker, and hopefully it's a great match with him and Shane McMahon next Sunday at WrestleMania.
Mike,
inside.
your favorite taker moments, taker matches?
Oh gosh, there's plenty of taker moments, and let me get the camera on me just because you guys are pretty good looking over here. But over here,
I don't know about that board on me. So.
I'm just trying to fix the mic here.
I'm an evil demon. Your mic fell.
Yeah, it
I was
fell.
waiting for it to fall. I was
No,
actually looking at it over
it's
here.
I'm just holding it right now.
No, I mean just kind of.
Yeah, I know.
Set it up and just stick it back in
Yeah,
there.
show
That's
the
what she
armbar
said.
I
nation.
feel pretty comfortable here. I haven't touched it once.
Yeah, yours is good actually.
I adjusted mine, and it's still standing.
Show the Armbar Nation here how I'm holding my mic.
I think the edge of Tony's table is actually
Pretty
a
flat.
little better than the corners here, so I'm actually gonna maybe have to figure out.
Just to let you know, guys, I'm staying here. Next time, I like this spot.
Tony
Me
likes
too.
it.
I'm
He
good where
likes
I'm
this
at here.
spot.
All right.
Favorite
This is literally
WrestleMania.
Jay's corner.
I don't want to talk about favorite WrestleMania moments because I think The Undertaker has had plenty of those.
Oh, yeah.
Actually, but I want to talk about favorite Raw moments of The Undertaker. Actually, guys. First of all, one of my favorite, and this is like one of the first hardcore matches that I got to see. I mean, I never really was into ECW back in the day, so I really mainly only watched WCW and WWE.
Right.
But one match that I remember vaguely and I can never forget is the Boiler Room match with
Oh
him
yeah.
versus Mankind. And, this was the start of a great feud that ended up being in that Hell in a Cell match, obviously, right?
Yeah.
But, man, dude, these guys, I remember when they had those Boiler Room matches and they would just go all out, throwing everything at each other, hitting each other with trash cans. What else? Piping, like lead piping. I mean, whatever was there, basically, that was there.
I think even also the
The steam.
the Gatorade size thing of coffee at
Oh,
one point.
yeah.
For the Undertaker.
And it was just dark and shady, and I really liked the vignettes that Mankind would throw out to to basically, I mean, he was a rival of The Undertaker, probably the greatest rival in my opinion.
Yeah.
I mean, not to, discredit Mick Foley's other characters,
No,
obviously, but Mankind was probably, I feel like, was Taker's greatest adversary just because Paul Bearer,
Exactly.
Mankind was his other guy, minus Kane. I mean, he was the three, he had Kane, Undertaker.
And they were what, tag team
Vader.
champions,
Yeah.
right?
I mean, but
Mankind and
think
King.
about it. I mean,
Summer of '98.
how many guys got inside the head of the Undertaker like Mankind did back in the day?
Not many.
Not many, to be honest. And I remember that was a great feud. And I mean, not so much the wrestling because the Undertaker was pretty dominant, if I remember correctly. I mean, he was the guy that basically tore up the house back then. I mean, we saw that Hell in a Cell match at Bad Blood 90 whatever. I mean, I don't know if
97.
that was Bad Blood or if that was in your house.
1998 with a Hell in a Cell.
Yeah,
King
of the Ring.
Those guys had the best ring psychology.
Yeah,
Those two were meant for
The
each
thing
other.
about that is, that was one of my favorite moments of The Undertaker, but at the same time, it was just brutal. It was really, really brutal to see him just kind of throw Mick Foley around the ring like nothing. And Mick Foley is, you gotta give him credit, man. The guy is a human, what do they call it, a daredevil, basically?
Glorified stuntman. That's what Ric
glorified
Flair
stuntman. I hate
said.
to say that, but the guy, he put his career on the line every single time he stepped into the ring with The Undertaker. So, I mean, just that feud in general, it means a lot to me back in the day. I mean, I was like, wow, like it gave you the oh my God moments, the oh shit, did that just happen?
Yeah.
And I'm like still thinking about it. Like, and now I just kind of want to go to the WWE Network and watch for $9.99, guys, by the way.
Free this month, by the way.
Free
It's
this
always
month
free.
Free this month to new
subscribers.
subscribers. What are you waiting for?
Coco's going to be watching, by the way. So, we can put the camera back
Can
on
I do
you
a
guys.
Jim Ross impression?
Hold on, give me 1 second. Look at the camera on you and go ahead, Tony. You're good.
Oh no, he just broke it in half.
The words that stood out to me with Taker and Mankind's Hell in a Cell was the King saying, "Mercifully, it's over."
That's it. He's dead.
That to me was like the best way to sum up that Hell in a Cell.
And then Terry Funk comes in, and then Undertaker chokeslams.
Choke slammed out of his sneakers.
Yeah.
But another favorite Undertaker moment of mine was the first face turn he did in '92. I mean, we got to see Jake the Snake Roberts.
Yes.
When Jake was asking Undertaker after Taker helped the Macho Man in Jake's feud with Savage at that point, and Jake's asking, "Whose side are you on? You tell me." And then Taker's, you didn't speak much at that point, but when he did, it meant something, and still does today. But his words, "Not yours." I thought, man, this guy's cool, man. I mean, that's what made me an Undertaker fan, was just those two words when he went against Jake the Snake Roberts and then became a fan favorite. Even when he was a heel years later against Austin or The Rock, I still rooted for The Undertaker.
Yeah, I mean, Jake Roberts, he loved working with The Undertaker.
Oh.
He said that, man. He said that kid, something else. He says he knew he was going to be somebody big in the wrestling world.
Yeah.
And, when he took him on his first night to a little strip joint there. He was talking about last night on Cena Ray. If you guys missed it, man, it's such an honor to meet Jake the Snake Roberts. That man is actually the master of psychology. That's actually the man that put Undertaker on the map.
Oh, yeah, in many ways.
And elevated his career. So my kudos to Jake the Snake Roberts. And by the way, in a couple months, it's going to be his 61st birthday. So Jake Roberts, if you're listening, I want to tell you happy early birthday, man.
And
Early birthday.
thank you, Jake the Snake, for an awesome night last night at the Cena El Rey. It was just...
That was a no glove night.
Oh, believe me.
He pulled no punches,
He pulled no punches
on his stand-up comedy show last night. It was not... it wasn't like the Mick Foley stand-up show I saw over a year ago.
What kind of got me a little scared, too, because it could be a little raunchy, a lot of foul language, it's just pretty bad. And there were some winter Texans out there from Canada.
Oh, man.
And there were like about 5 or 6 of them, and I don't think they had a clue what was going on, that this was actually about wrestling and stuff like that. They just looked so flabbergasted with the strong language and the innuendos and just all that raunchiness.
Were they expecting to see Dave Coulier or something?
I mean,
Oh, man. Cut it out.
everybody wants a what? I mean,
We still watch.
Yeah, I love Fuller
I
House.
watched Fuller House.
Me
That's
too.
great.
Hell yeah.
It's a great show, by the way.
It's a great family-oriented show. It talks about great moral values, which we don't see that every day. What do we see now? American Dad. Like, I just saw an episode of American Dad. Haley's mother, what's her name? What's
I don't know. I don't watch that.
who plays the wife of Stan? What's her name?
All right, hold on, guys. Let's try to get this dog to calm down over here. She's too vicious right now. I apologize to you guys, by the way, but
Sorry,
at least she wasn't here
Marty.
during the actual recording. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, the shows back in the day, you know, in our era in the 90s, everything was about morals, you know, good and bad and what you should do and not do. And, you know, the TV these days, the kids are, you know, they're teaching them how to steal and teaching them how to do all that stuff. And her name was Francine, by the way.
To answer your question,
Francine. I mean, there was an episode today, Francine being a professional shoplifter and encourage her son to shoplift. That was just like, what? What did I just miss? It's just, I just don't understand it these days. I mean, kids are watching this show on TV, and you wonder why we have candidates of future of Most Wanted. I mean, America's Most Wanted. I don't get it because the television they watch. But going back to wrestling, on Jake the Snake Roberts, the man is a legend. I'm actually thanking God that, you know, there's somebody out there for him like Diamond Dallas Page to reach to him.
yeah,
And Scott Hall. I mean, Jake Roberts is going to be, 4 years now sober.
Yeah.
And, you know,
That's crazy.
he didn't, and you know what? I was watching very carefully. He did not take one drink. He did not even pick up one cigarette during the whole thing. He was drinking strictly water during his stand-up. And, you know, there's alcohol everywhere. Once he has a drink, he'll have another, and he'll have all of them. And
he'll want to close the bar out.
and
as
yeah,
I said.
so he talked about that on his show. And for anybody out there listening, you know, you guys got demons, whether you guys like to overeat quite a
If
bit.
Jake Roberts can make it,
you guys can
too.
Yeah.
do it. You know, just got to think what could have happened. And this man, you
Quite
can learn a
frankly,
lot in one night.
Quite frankly, he shouldn't even be alive right now.
Yeah, and
No.
there were times he was literally asking God, why not me every time when he heard about Mr. Perfect, the big boss man, Hawk, and asking, why can't you take me? I remember him saying that in his 2005 DVD, Pick Your Poison. But I'm glad that, hey, Jake the Snake is alive today. I'm glad that he finally took his rightful spot in the WWE Hall of Fame 2 years ago. And I'm glad that me personally, I got to meet one of my favorite wrestlers yesterday. And I'm still going to I have the picture on my phone that we took, me and Tony with Jake the Snake. It's going to be one that I'm going to frame right next to the autographed picture Jake signed yesterday.
Man, that man could be a dirty old man. He
Oh,
is
yeah.
a sick old man. That man is probably the walking of no gloves. This man is like, has a PhD. The man has a PhD in no gloves. You should have heard the stories he was talking about being on the road. I mean, he makes Rob Van Dam, he makes Sabu, he makes Tammy Sitch, aka Sonny. He makes them all look like Mother Teresa out there.
He would put him to sleep, basically.
Yeah, pretty much.
If there was any other guy that partied as hard as he did, from what I heard in the stories of the 80s, it was two guys I can think of, the Nature Boy Ric Flair and the late, great Roddy Piper.
Oh, yeah. Those guys love to party.
Oh, yeah. Oh, man. It was just – and then I'm sure you're dying, Tony, to share this story on Armbar Unleashed when it
Go
comes
for it.
to Jake the Snake Roberts.
Guys,
and
I
one
want you to forgive
late,
me
great
on
Rick Rude.
the language. I mean, I know this is unedited, but okay, I'm going to be
We're
very
unleashed.
technical. Yeah, we're unleashed. Okay.
Did I mention we're live?
Yeah. Okay, I'll give you
We're
two
live,
stories.
pal.
I'm going to give you two. Well, do you want to do the story with the Matilda?
I'll do the Matilda story. You do the Rick Rude story.
Okay.
Go for it.
So, Rick Rude, I don't know if you guys remember the infamous Rick Rude and Jake the Snake Roberts storyline. Well, boy, this dog is really incorrigible.
He's not going to like the Matilda
It's
story.
because you're raising your voice.
Yeah.
That's what you get a little angry.
So anyhow, Jake was dating this girl at the time, and on the storyline, she plays his wife. And you know how Rick Rude is notorious for calling out the women to do the Rude Awakening. And guys, if you don't know what Rude Awakening It was one of them was his finisher. It was a neck breaker, and the other one was by calling out a very beautiful woman to the ring, the center of the ring, and making out with them on live TV. Well, apparently, since we all know it's premeditated, Jake Roberts mentioned that he actually pays a woman backstage before the show starts and says, I will pay you $500 if you're interested. I can make out with you in the middle of the ring, but if it has to be okay with whether you have a boyfriend or husband, it's $500 cash, whether you're single, anything. So we just want to know if it's okay with you. Well, he decided, he actually knew that Jake Roberts said, actually, hey, yes, it's okay. You can go ahead, and since she's part of the storyline, let's use her on the storyline. So yeah, go ahead, give her the $500, and yeah, I'll let you make out with my girlfriend. So this was the feud. This was actually not part of the script. Now this was on a house show. I guess I don't think Jake would have aired it on the show, because if he knew this was a house show or a show on the air. Anyway, going back. So he says to his girlfriend, hey, honey, let's do something pretty rotten to Rick Rude. So after they were getting a little down and dirty in the backstage, there was actually in the parking lot, Jake had the audacity to tell his girlfriend to give him oral sex in the parking lot. So when he was about to give her the malt, give her the to shoot his load into her mouth, he tells her, look, I want you to do this. Save it. Save it. Do not swallow it and do not say. You better freaking save it. So she's been holding his semen in his mouth. I know, guys, I'm sorry this is gross,
I
but
can't
it's
believe
hilarious.
we're hearing this, guys.
So I know, this is live. I mean,
We are live, right?
So this guy has a dash. He tells his girlfriend, hold the semen in your mouth till Rick Rude calls you out for the Rude Awakening during the house show. So when it was time, thank God, it was the introduction to the show. Rick Rude calls her out, and they start making out. And she transfers the semen to Rick Rude's mouth. Rick Rude throws up, and he's like, God damn, what the fuck? I'm going to kill you, Jake Roberts. I'm going to kill you. And all of a sudden, Jake Roberts like, oh shit, man, he's really pissed. I mean, can you blame the guy? He's tasting one of Jake Roberts' semen. So he's like, I'm gonna fucking kill you, Jake. So Jake runs to the hotel. Sorry guys about the dog. Jake runs to the hotel, and some little boy says, oh look, you're Jake Roberts. Jake Roberts gives a little thumbs up, starts running. He's hauling ass to the hotel, and all of a sudden, Rick Rude punches through the door in the hotel, and he's like, I'm gonna fucking kill you, Jake. Your ass is mine. So the cops come in, they arrest Rick Rude, and he tells his girl, baby, I think what we did was pretty rotten. I feel really bad. You know what? Just let's go ahead and just go to the police station and go bail Rick Rude out of jail. And you know what? I don't like to share my women with men, but go ahead and sleep with him, because this will calm him down, suck him off.
De-energize him.
Degenerize him. I mean, suck his dick like the Last Supper. I mean, do whatever it takes to just get him drained so he can forgive me. And I feel really bad about it. So all of a sudden, he does that, and then I heard he'd done that to more than one occasion. He'd done it in like some water and vinegar drinks to the Ultimate Warrior. I think the Ultimate Warrior had like 4 of them, and he did that.
About this tall?
About this yay
Oh my
high.
God.
And I had no idea he did that. So he's done it to more than one encounter. But see, the thing is, he did it because they fucked with him. That's what he said. He says, if somebody fucks with me, I'm going to fuck them back with interest and give them a receipt. Well, he really didn't say that, but he pretty much did that. So, yeah, it was kind of cruel. But if you fuck with Jake Roberts, you're going to get the horns. Or you're probably going to get bit. Anyway, you're going to get the fangs. So that concludes one of my experiences that I just heard from Jake Roberts himself. Jay, you go ahead and you tell your story about the experience with Jake Roberts last night on his next story.
Well, they say, I don't want to talk about the dead like this because he's gone. But this man was an asshole, referring to the late, great Davey Boy Smith, the British Bulldog. Because since Jake had to carry Damien, his snake, with him everywhere, 200, 300 plus days out of the year, Davey Boy Smith, for whatever reason, would take lit cigarettes.
This dog is vicious, guys. Sorry to interrupt.
That's cool. I'm guessing he wants to avenge Matilda, which I'll get into that momentarily.
No, go ahead.
Go on.
And then, of course, Davey Boy Smith takes lit cigarettes and throws them into the bag Damien's contained in. And Jake Roberts is seeing Damien. He's like, hey, where's all these cigarette marks coming from? And it's Davey Boy Smith saying, saying that it's him doing it. So Jake Roberts decides, you know what? I'm going to get my revenge. The British Bulldogs, they had their bulldog, Matilda. So what does Jake Roberts do? He goes to a hot dog stand, gets hot dogs with chili and a little extra something.
Yeah.
For fast, effective relief. And all you can hear afterwards when Jake is knocking on the hotel door where Matilda's at is or something. I mean, I'm not really good. Splat is all you hear. On the inside, that hotel room was covered in dog shit. It was that terrible.
Especially the drapes and the bed sheets, right?
Yeah.
So
Basically
cliche.
totaling a good $700 and probably some change for Davey Boy Smith and Dynamite Kid to have to pay for the hotel damages that Matilda caused all over the place, thanks to Jake the Snake Roberts and his ever-so-loving receipt with interest.
And how did British Bulldog respond to Jake Roberts?
He was just like, what the fuck did you do to my dog, man? It's like, well, hey, you fucked with Damien. I'm going to fuck with you back with Matilda. And with interest.
If you think about it, Vince McMahon paid for that snake. It was a $5,000 snake.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and that snake was not easy for Jacob, the Snake Roberts, to carry on. Or better yet, there's another story I love. Fans for years. I mean, I grew up, people telling me, oh, wrestling's fake, this, that, or the other. One night, Jake Roberts goes to a strip joint, and this one stripper who thought she was God's gift to men tells Jake, I know that snake is fake. I know wrestling's fake. You're a bunch of phonies. Jake is instructed by The Undertaker, go get that motherfucker. Talking about what was not Damien, but the King
Lucifer.
Cobra. Yeah, Lucifer that he had during his heel run when he was feuding with Macho Man back in 91. So Jake goes and grabs Lucifer, and the stripper grabs him thinking, look at this. This is nothing. And then Lucifer just rears back and right on that stripper's nipple, and that snake would not let go for anything. Ah, man, just right on the nipple. And just Jake the Snake is just enjoying it. I mean, that snake was already devenomized because if I'm not mistaken, that's the same snake they used on Macho Man. Yeah. But it taught that stripper a lesson. Not everything you see in wrestling is quote unquote, what's that F word again?
Fake.
Yeah. She found out the hard way. I mean, come on. Thinking that snake was mechanical? Yeah. About as mechanical as a real life snake. And she found out the hard way.
He did a great Macho Man impression. something thinking and he was just getting cowardly on the snake. He's like, first let him bite you, and I think he tasered his own snake. But you know what, if you think about it, if you fuck with their property, if you think about it, that was WWE property actually giving, putting a cruelty to animals, what British Bulldog did to his snake. I mean, that's WWE property. You can't. Yeah. That's like vandalism.
Yeah.
To WWE property, especially when McMahon is putting $5,000 on a snake. You see it damaged. You see it bruised. You see it. That's he could have gone to jail for that.
Yeah. But Davey Boy Smith is lucky he didn't have to go to jail, but he did have to pay $700 worth of hotel damages that Matilda caused when he basically used that hotel as his entire toilet. But yeah, I mean, come on. You mess with one person's pet, be prepared to have the same thing done to you.
Do unto you. What is it? Do
unto others
as you would done to you.
As you would do unto you. Something like that. Yeah. But to Davey Boy Smith, we still say rest in peace and hope that finally next year we get to see him inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame.
Absolutely.
Speaking of Hall of Fame, when's The Rock going to get in?
Oh, man. Maybe next year in Florida.
Okay, not just that, but when's the NWO getting in?
hopefully once Vince McMahon has forgiven Hulk Hogan for
It's supposed to be in a few months. They were supposed to be WrestleMania, but they delayed it.
but Orlando would be good because Orlando and Daytona Beach, they're what? Kind of
Like neighbors.
Yeah, you know, I would be.
and where was the NWO born?
I would make the flight to go see WrestleMania in Orlando again.
Yeah, next year.
How we should all go armbar and save our money.
And who knows? Hopefully next year's WrestleMania will be
Hopefully,
a
I
better
win the
show.
lottery. Actually,
We win the lottery. We pay off any debts that we might owe.
And I'll buy an armbar van. I'll buy a van, a utility van, and paint it red and black. And get the
You know,
headlights like
you'll
18.
get the child molester van.
Come on.
I was hoping that maybe one of us would get the Scooby-Doo mystery van or something. Solve mysteries. Like
All
the
right.
biggest mystery why this year's WrestleMania is just not the best one ever.
No, it really isn't. All right, guys. So that about wraps it up for me personally because I have to get going soon and finish some homework to do tomorrow. I have to get up early
I
for
gotta do
class.
I got work tomorrow.
This little Coco
My-
dog here. Hey there, buddy.
what up?
Could
Bobby,
I?
I'm sure you got.
I'm just kidding. Don't
worry.
Did we mention Wrestle Revolution?
She was.
We can mention Wrestle Revolution,
Yeah,
right?
I mean, Wrestling Revolution. They'll be on tomorrow night,
And Ray Rose is going to be there tomorrow.
taking on Danny Chance for the Grand Warrior Championship.
She's scared.
Guys,
Look
if
at
you
that.
need to support your main local wrestling company, it's at NWA, WWR. Great matches, great talent, incredible entertainment.
Mhm.
It's $8 for adults, $5 for children. Ray Rowe is going to be there, our current Grand Warrior champion. He's an ROH. He's also one half of tag team champion with Hanson, and he's Ring of Honor's talent.
You know, guys, there's no reason you should miss NWA Wrestling Revolution. It's
Exactly.
a great show.
It is an awesome show. It's a great entertainment for everyone. No reason to miss it. NWA Wrestling Revolution tomorrow night at the historic Cena El Rey,
Since 1947.
long before any of us were born, I think.
All right, guys, that just about wraps it up for Armbar Unleashed, our little post show from the actual show that we do pre-recording for KCYP, 97.7 The City. So if you guys don't listen to us, they usually air our show a couple times throughout the week. Actually, I know they re-aired our show from before spring break about like all week this past week. Actually, so I was listening to it on the road. So I mean, if you live in the Mission or McAllen area, over here, down here, the Rio Grande Valley is what I like to call it, the RG Bizzle.
Or you could use the TuneIn Radio app and
Wait,
just search for the City 977.
Wait, there was actually a spring break? Oh, I forgot. We're adults.
We're adults.
Yeah, all we do is work.
I know.
Isaac maybe, but not us. But anyway, so that runs. Being a little bitch. But anyway,
But we say that with love.
if you're watching this,
We
and
think.
we're gonna close it out. So we do appreciate the fans watching. We have a whole 2 viewers right now. I got my dog right here, actually, who's about ready to go take her nap. She's a little vicious right now. But don't forget, like us on Facebook, www.facebook.com/UTPA Armbar, or follow us on Twitter. And let me look at the Twitter handle actually. And you can actually, it's gonna be twitter.com/UTPA_armbar. So we have a couple followers, 63 followers on Twitter, not as high as our Facebook page, obviously, but let's go ahead and close it out, guys. And this is my shot right here, but let me get a final shot of Tony J and Isaac over here, which is the no gloves crew over here. There you go. Hold on, there you go, Tony. Tony, go.
No
all out.
gloves.
No gloves.
All right, but this is it, guys.
And by the way, next week we got the rematch, Tony
yeah.
versus Jay.
Oh yeah, on our special segment, what's it called again, Isaac? The wrestling-
Armbar trivia.
Why don't we make the
Armbar trivia.
stakes higher?
Oh. Okay,
How
how
so?
about this? Hair versus hair.
No.
I'll do it.
No, I'm going my hero.
I will gladly put my hair on the line.
No, I don't. No. I gotta keep the carrot half.
Chicken, chicken.
Or maybe, as they
I
say
can
in
go over some
Lucha,
chicken. So
as
stop talking about chicken.
as they say in Lucha Libre, Lucha de Espuesas.
Okay.
You know, I'll put my hair on the
How
line.
about this? How about
Let's
this?
do a triple threat.
No.
Armbar.
How about this? Loser has to get kicked in the nuts.
Oh, okay, I ain't doing that.
No.
I'd like to have kids someday.
I have work the next
Not
day.
today,
I don't
but,
be-
you know.
I don't want to be limping on the way to work.
Okay. Well,
yeah,
we'll
plus
talk.
or
I
talk-
wouldn't want to kick him in the
And
nuts.
plus,
Okay.
talking like a girl.
Okay, we'll come up with something. Don't worry. All right,
Lucha
armbar
Díaz
fans.
Cuestas.
Armbar fans, send in your request
No,
for what a possible
Yeah, I mean,
stipulation
no.
could be.
No.
He was supposed to dress like the Big Boss Man.
Or no, he was supposed to dress as Dude Love.
Yeah, but he was getting Dude Love, Rosie. It was like, come on, Tony. I know he's a big guy, but he's not.
He's not a
that
big guy.
I mean, come
I know,
on.
for crying out loud. You know what? Look, someone even told me go as like AJ Styles or something. Look, I have something like this.
You could be Kevin Owens.
Yeah,
Kevin Owens.
I could see that. And to our
Pretty good full KO.
one of our armbar.
Minus the gut, I don't have a huge.
All right,
Oh,
next
yeah,
week.
exactly.
And to one
All
of
right,
our
next
armbar
week,
bumps.
Tony, you have to appear as Kevin Owens because you didn't come in dressed today. But okay, next week's stipulation, Mike. You got any ideas?
Stipulation for the winner and loser bracket?
Yeah.
God,
Oh, gosh.
I will put my hair
don't
up.
do it. No.
You don't have to put your hair on the line. You can do
How
something
about
else.
loser buys the winner dinner? How about that? Something simple.
Oh,
Yeah.
the winner chicken
Or makes-
dinner.
Yeah, pretty much.
Oh, dinner on a pole.
Thank you,
No.
Vince Russo.
Yeah,
How does this work?
how about loser takes the whole Armbar crew out to eat? For
Oh.
Okay, I don't know if I can afford that.
Golly,
I'll take dollar menu items.
Yeah,
right?
I'd take dollar menu.
So,
man, you guys are
double
something.
cheeseburgers.
And Liz just texted me saying,
She's falling
no,
asleep
I
right
want to
now.
have kids, people. Hello. I'm like, yes, I am not going to kick Tony
Yeah,
in the nuts.
no.
I wouldn't have done that to begin with.
Okay, how about this? Loser has to take 5 chops.
Okay, it's fair enough.
Yeah, sure. I mean,
Oh.
On
Why
air, okay.
Bare shirt. No
Bare
shirt.
shirt or
no
bare
shirt.
chest?
Bare chest.
Third chest.
All right.
Oh, okay.
well, wait. Instead of like say Tony beats me in terms of this game, I'll take a chop from all 3 of you guys.
Oh.
Wow.
But
good.
if Tony loses, he gets a chop from all 3 of us.
Oh,
Think of this as
man.
like an episode of Impractical Jokers.
Okay.
All right, that'll be
Okay.
the first segment we have after we finish the regular show, and it'll be
And-
Yeah.
Armbar
and-
Unleashed first segment.
Yeah,
And to
it'll
our
be
friend-
Armbar Unleashed exclusive. Like we'll have the winner on Armbar, then we'll see the results in Armbar Unleashed.
And to our friend Lila Villegas, I promise you, he will be dressed as Kevin Owens next week, but I can't wait for the rematch.
Please don't put me against
Dun.
freaking 350, 400-pound wrestlers, for Christ's sake.
I mean,
I'm only 6 feet tall. I weigh like 238. So
even I went to bat for you when I,
I
said,
don't even
be nice people.
I am not even freaking 300 pounds. Okay, I'm not that freaking big. Okay, for Christ's sake, I have a 36-inch waistline.
Thought you were gonna go somewhere
Okay.
else there.
That's the average American male waistline. right?
Yeah.
Very
So
good.
guys, I maybe look big because I wear baggy clothes. Yeah, I'm a little slightly overweight, but God, guys, I'm not that big. Okay, and I can't pull off a dude love. All right.
All
I can
right,
do,
yeah.
the only thing I'll do is this for a gimmick. If you guys want to watch me, watch this, okay?
Hold on, they can't see where
Here,
you
I'll do a dude love for you, okay? I'm sorry.
Okay.
I could have seen you as IRS.
Okay, everybody says I look like IRS at work. I get called that. I got even called that for another individual that called me that today. So I'm gonna do the dude love. Can anybody see me?
You get
Okay, I'm gonna make it clear. Okay,
Yeah.
let me do a dude love, and I'll do a big boss man impression, and we'll do it even. Okay.
And speaking of Leela, she did say, why don't you try dressing like Buff Bagwell?
Ooh.
Okay, that I can do. Okay. Okay.
I can see that. I mean, dude.
Pop stuff.
I
We go
mean,
down on that. There you go.
There.
See,
Put the music on, damn it.
I can't do it,
I can
man.
do the I can do the Buff dance if I remember. I know, not the best one because
Okay,
Buff was
I
in
like
way better shape than I was.
Okay, how does the big boss man? Give me a.
If I was to
Damn
say Big
dildo.
Boss, if I was to say Big
Dildo.
Boss Man, you gotta go old school, the old school
Here.
police uniform, not the Attitude Era.
it's an air freshener. I'm missing.
This is his flow.
Tony's head's cut off, by the way.
If you ever take a trip down to Cobb County, Georgia, and I don't know all the rest of the lyrics, but just look at the Big Boss Man, the old school theme
Okay.
song.
Guys, you want to see Rosie? Okay, I'll make you happy. I'm the SHIT superhero in training.
Move it up a little bit. There you go. There you
Okay,
I still, honestly, I mean, even I went to bat for you when I said, guys, be nice, don't
Yeah.
put him something
Jesus.
big.
I mean, do you guys really think I'm like that 350, 400 pounds?
You're
I'm
not a big
I'm
person
not
at
a
all.
big guy. If you meet me in person, okay, I've told this. You're all shoulders, okay? I've been measured. I have 58.5-inch shoulders. I have a 52 chest. I got my measurements at the tuxedo place. And they said I have a huge chest for my size, and I guess I do appear bigger because I have 58.5-inch shoulders. But I'm not that big, guys. I appear big, and they say when you wear white, you look a lot bigger. But honestly, this is what I look like, guys. I'm not that big. I used to be a lot bigger. How much did I used to weigh back in the day?
From what you told me in your in the days of when you would eat like 100 wings or 100 chicken nuggets, and I say that respectfully, 300 pounds at one point. I mean,
310, right? I was a pretty big dude.
Yeah, you were bigger.
I was a lot bigger. I've lost a lot of weight. I actually went down to 195 at one point. Everybody kept calling me chemo. I just couldn't stand there. They were like,
chemo?
Yeah, like I was going through chemotherapy.
Oh, that's terrible.
No, come on, dude.
I know. I was
people that
I
we
got
know
called
of.
cancer boy. I got called AIDS.
That is not fun.
Yeah, they told me
It's not.
they called me Tommy the Machine Morse, Tommy the Machine Gun.
Tommy the Machine Gun.
Yeah,
Tommy,
so because
late Tommy Morrison.
he got AIDS. So
But come on, that's
Yeah,
not funny, man.
I know.
I mean, Freddie
Sick.
Mercury was one of the first AIDS victims, and he was the singer of Queen and one of the greatest musicians of all time. He died from that disease. That's not funny.
yeah, it's not funny. So I mean,
She's too vicious.
guys, I'm not that big, so
No.
I don't know why people are thinking,
Guys,
who's this?
just really
Be
quickly,
reasonable.
just for a quick stipulation. All right. Loser has to do a karaoke cover of Macho Man Randy Savage's song "Be a Man."
Okay, I'll vouch for that. I'll vouch for
I'll do
that.
that.
It's simple. But
But if it's a draw,
She hates it.
if it's somehow isn't a draw, we got to get Isaac to do that.
If it ends up in a draw, all of us are gonna do a cover of Hulkster in Heaven.
Hulkster.
why don't we do an impression of Jake the Snake Roberts stopping the No, Macho Man stopping the Rapture back in 2011.
No. Here's the thing: Hulkster in Heaven is a song about Hulk Hogan meeting a kid with cancer.
Oh.
And it was before SummerSlam in Wimbledon, apparently. And he said, "I'm going to win this match for you." And then when Hulk Hogan won the match, he looked over to the crowd and nobody was there, which implies that the kid died. So
I'm
it's
guessing, yeah.
it's a pretty terrible song, but
Yeah.
He wrote something on some child's epitaph when the kid died. I think that was the same kid. He wrote a nice epitaph for him on his
Yeah.
tombstone.
I think so.
That was actually very big-hearted of Hulk Hogan. Guys, did you hear about Hulk Hogan? He's $115 million richer and another $20 million. I heard that they're giving him an extra $20 million. So with taxes and with 30-40%.
fuck Gawker.
30-40% from his lawyer, he's probably left with about $100 million even.
It's kind of like when I saw that meme on Facebook of Hulk Hogan wrestling the $1 Million Man, Ted DiBiase. It's the $1 Million Man versus Ted DiBiase. But yeah, just Hulk Hogan, big ups to you winning that lawsuit. You know what? Hey, nobody should ever have their privacy invaded. And you know what? I'm glad that Hogan got the justice that he was looking for.
I got some advice for you guys. Never pay for sex.
Yeah.
I'm just because
No,
you got to be an idiot if you pay for sex, okay? I know all you virgins out there or whatever. Hey, it's all good. Hey, I'm going to tell you,
Damn.
you don't pay for sex. That could be an undercover cop. And if somebody asks you to have sex with his wife or girlfriend, you say no.
Yeah, don't
No,
do it.
don't do it.
Some creep will be recording it.
If you want to swallow your pride, watch a porno and do your thing. Hey,
Make love to Angelina.
yeah. For crying out loud, if you get hairy palms, okay, that's your problem. But anyhow,
Did we mention that this is live?
yeah. And by the way, guys, I'm serious. Okay, don't do any of that stuff, or that's gonna end up like Hulk Hogan. I mean, remember, I hope Hulk Hogan did the prenup to his second wife, because if he didn't, he's a moron. For
We all know how his first marriage ended.
yeah. So big kudos to you, Hulk Hogan. You're one of my favorites back in childhood and stuff like that. Maybe too much Family Guy and too much American Dad probably rotted you out.
All right, well, that wraps it up for Armbar Unleashed. I have to get going.
All right.
Thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much for watching. We'll be back next week right here in Google Hangouts. Thank y'all.
Stay classy.